Chapter 4665. It was a dead monkey. Damn it, stay here. A talisman appeared in the sky as soon as the talisman was cast. It was the Myriad Transformations talisman, and it was extremely terrifying. Boom. A seal of the human ruler slammed into the rune and blocked it. The man-ruler seal was slowly broken down, and Whitey came to the side of a figure. Who was it? How dare you meddle in my business? The expert from the Myriad Transformations sect was murderous. Lin Xian said coldly, I'll take this old medicine. Get lost. Damn it, you? The expert from the Myriad Transformations sect rushed over. At the same time, the others also said that it was this guy. He didn't die. When they saw Lin Xian, they were extremely shocked. Kill him. He had already obtained a stock of ancient medicine before this. What? The eyes of the surrounding people turned red. You want to kill me? Do you have the ability? Lin Xian looked around. A crack appeared in the sky. Those who crossed the line would die. This scene scared many people away. Lin Xian was very powerful to begin with, and some people had seen him in the previous battle. So those people quickly retreated. Of course, not everyone retreated because there were some late-stage Saint Kings among them. Especially the expert from the Myriad Flowers sect. He gritted his teeth and said, I've crossed the line. What can you do to me? He walked over aggressively. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with cold killing intent. You don't have the right to say such words. Another figure walked out. It was also an expert from the Wind clan. The last person was an elder from the Golden Crow clan. The three late-stage Saint Kings enveloped the entire area. Their cold eyes swept across the land. This kid has a spiritual medicine on him. You guys divide it. I'll go kill that damn monkey. The expert from the Myriad Words sect rushed toward Whitey. The experts from the Wind clan and the Golden Crow clan targeted Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly and summoned the Ice Fire Swan. The terrifying power of ice and fire filled the air. At the same time, he also charged toward the expert from the Wind clan. A great battle broke out. In an instant, damn monkey, die for me. The Myriad Transformations sect's expert unleashed the power of Myriad Transformations and charged toward Whitey. Xiao Bai dodged swiftly and took out a gourd. Baby, please turn around. The purple-skinned, Hu Lu released a piercingly cold sword light that instantly split open the body of the Myriad Transformation Gates expert. Even in death, that powerhouse did not believe that he would actually be insta-killed by a sword. Was he dead? Countless people were shocked. That was a Saint King at the late stage. Some people's expressions changed drastically. Damn it, the purple-skinned gourd. The treasure was actually in their hands. He was the Devil Dao expert from before. Cries of surprise could be heard as the eyes of countless people turned red. The people of the light race were fast. They came before Xiao Bai and were about to strike. Lin Xian summoned the Blackwater mystical snake to protect Little White and quickly retreated. At the same time, they entered the Great Sage Pagoda and rampaged about. Damn it, they roared. All of their attacks landed on the Great Cathedral. The Great Sage Tower swayed and blocked everything. Then, the three-eyed Vermilion Bird attacked and killed the strong cultivators of the Wind tribe and the Golden Crow tribe. Then he rushed inside. Damn it, these people chased after him. Lin Xian controlled the Great Sage Pagoda and attacked the other places with spiritual herbs. Immediately, those people roared crazily. Those who followed behind the Great Sage Pagoda were also attacked. Damn it, you dare to attack me? These people all retaliated. A great battle broke out again. Until now, no one could tell who had attacked first. Lin Xian did not attack again. He had obtained 2 stalks of ancient herbs, both of which were more than 30,000 years old. His harvest could be said to be very bountiful. After carefully storing the 2 stalks of ancient herbs, Lin Xian continued to fly inside. Not long after, He heard Black Mountain's voice transmission. Black Mountain said, "Kid, come over quickly." Lin Xian walked over. Then he was stunned. In fact, he could not believe it. There were 9 true dragons in front of him. Their cold scales flickered and shone brightly. Each of the true dragons was 1,000 meters long and had a terrifying aura. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Lin Xian frowned. He carefully sensed and found that these 9 true dragons had no aura. Were they dead? He was too shocked. They had been dead for tens of thousands of years, but their bodies were still intact. How heaven-defying was this? What kind of cultivation did these 9 true dragons have before? He did not dare to imagine. Was this Black Mountain's goal? Lin Xian was surprised and looked forward again. He found that there were chains on the 9 true dragons. At the end of the chains was a bronze coffin. Who was buried there? Did he need 9 true dragons? Lin Xian was really stunned. What was this? He asked Black Mountain. Black Mountain said, "It's very complicated. I can't explain it clearly in a short time. Do you see the lamp on the bronze coffin? That's my goal." Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He said, "I see it. What is that?" Black Mountain said, "Sky Lantern." With him, there was hope for the Heavenly Court to be reactivated. The Heavenly Court to be reactivated. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard this. As expected, he said, "I guessed right. You should be from the Heavenly Court back then, right?" "Kid, you're right. In the battle back then, I fell. This time, I'm here to reactivate the Heavenly Court." Black Mountain was really from the Heavenly Court. He was too shocked. No wonder he was so familiar with this place and could even break the array formation so easily. He could even find the Sky Lantern. Everything made sense now. He said, "What happened in the battle back then? Who destroyed the Heavenly Court? Was it the Purple Mansion?" Black Mountain said that it was related to the Purple Mansion. However, there was an even more terrifying existence. Forget it. This was even more difficult to explain. He would get the Sky Lantern first. He walked forward. Boom. When Black Mountain approached the Sky Lantern, the sky and earth shook. A terrifying force flew out from the front and swept in all directions. Lin Xian retreated and instantly hid in the Great Sage Tower. The hall continued to rumble. Lin Xian was shocked. What was going on? What a terrifying aura. He was really stunned. Those who were still fighting in the distance were also shocked. What a terrifying power. There was an even more heaven-defying treasure. Go. Some people had already obtained the old medicine and flew forward. Some people gritted their teeth. They knew that it was impossible to get the old medicine. It was better to look for other treasures. These people all flew forward. When they arrived, they were incomparably shocked. Were these 9 true dragons? It was too unbelievable. These true dragons had indestructible bodies after 50,000 years. How heaven-defying were their cultivations back then? There was also a bronze coffin. Countless people were shocked. What was hidden inside? Was it the master of the Heavenly Court back then? There seemed to be something on the coffin. It was a lamp. Countless people were shocked. The expressions of the people from the Purple Mansion instantly changed. An old man stood out and shouted coldly. Could it be the legendary Sky Lantern? Some of the people from the clan of the Ancients gasped. This was the inheritance token of the Heavenly Court. As long as the Sky Lantern was not extinguished, the balance would not be extinguished. If they obtained it, they might be able to obtain the inheritance of the Heavenly Court. Chapter 46:66. Some people's eyes turned red. That was an extremely terrifying existence. Those from the Purple Mansion sect sneered. The Sky Lantern had been extinguished, and the Heavenly Court would never be reactivated. This time, they would be completely destroyed. Murderous intent appeared in their eyes. You want to destroy the Heavenly Court? Ridiculous. Heishan turned around and harumphed coldly. If the Purple Mansion sect could be reactivated, the Heavenly Court could be reactivated too. Who are you? They stared at Heishan with murderous intent in their eyes. You want to reactivate the heavenly court? Are you kidding me? The elder charged over, his vast palm blotting out the sky and covering the earth as he charged towards Black Mountain. The terrifying aura made everyone despair. The heaven-shaking seal. His first move was an ancient lost art. Heishan stood there unmoved, and a terrifying force came out of the bronze coffin. The heaven-shaking seal was shattered, and the Purple Mansion sect cultivator was also sent flying. He vomited blood and turned into a bloody mist. The others were shocked. Was there someone alive in the bronze coffin? Impossible. He had been dead for 50,000 years. If the great emperor couldn't survive, they would definitely die. I don't care about the heavenly court. I want to open the coffin and see if there are any inheritances in it. Golden Crow Lion of the Golden Crow clan walked out and shouted coldly. The others nodded. They didn't care about the heavenly court. They only wanted treasures and inheritances. At this time, an elder of the light race flew out, turning into a streak of light with extreme speed. He tore through the void and arrived near the bronze coffin. He reached out with both hands and was about to grab it. Heishan snorted and slapped down, turning the light clan cultivator into a bloody mist. You think you can do it? He turned around and sneered. Dead. The black-robed man was so terrifying. Damn it. The light clan cultivator roared, but he didn't dare to move forward. Come and help me, kid. Heishan ignored the others and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded and flew forward. He felt a great pressure. Heishan waved his hand and brought him to the vicinity. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief and said, What do you want me to do? Use your trump card. With that, he waved his hand and 10 storage rings appeared. He said, There are enough resources inside. You can use the dragon soul as much as you want. Lin Xian nodded and grabbed the storage ring with his claw. Do you think you can light up the sky lanterns? That was impossible. The 3 Peak Saint Kings stood out and said, It was time to join forces. A woman walked over from the Purple Mansion. Her voice was piercingly cold as she said, The heavenly court must not be reopened. Everybody, please lend a helping hand to the Z government. This time, the treasures you snatched will belong to you. Furthermore, if you manage to kill those 2 people, you will be able to destroy the lantern. Then, my Purple Mansion will give each faction an ancient scripture. Is that true? The people around exclaimed. Even the clan of the ancients was shocked. What Yi Fuqian gave them was definitely not inferior to what they already had. This way, they would be able to become even more powerful. The Wind clan member nodded. The eyes of the Holy Heavens race and light race lit up. The woman from the Purple Mansion, Fairy Zillion, said coldly, Everyone, let's attack together. She walked forward. The surrounding people all came over. Lin Xian was not very observant. He realized that except for the Danding sect, which was a top sect, the other sects were basically all here. Those from the Danding sect were more interested in the spiritual herbs and were still investigating from afar. However, even if they came, they would not be able to help him. Now, he could only rely on himself and Black Mountain. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian prepared to use the storage ring to awaken the Great Dragon Sword Soul. Black Mountain said, Use the Great Dragon Sword Soul to break the sky lantern. Leave these people to me. Black Mountain walked out, exuding a terrifying aura. Lin Xian was shocked. Can this work? Although this old guy was a supreme saint, his strength should not have fully recovered. You want to fight against all of us by yourself? Fairy Zillion sneered. The other Saint Kings were also disdainful. No matter how strong the opponent was. So what? Qilin was strong, but he was still defeated by them. Now, this black-robed man was no match for them either. Humph! I don't care about trash like you. Those great sages wouldn't come. So, I am not afraid of anything. Black Mountain snorted. Attack! Fairy Zillion waved her hand and rushed out. Dragon Elephant Finger. Her jade-like hand carried a terrifying power that could tear everything apart. The ancient lost art was terrifying. The other experts also attacked. Their terrifying aura made Lin Xian's blood boil. Lin Xian wanted to summon his beasts to block them, but he found that it was difficult to do so. There were simply too many experts. However, Black Mountain laughed. Today, I will show you my true strength. The black aura on his body quickly spread and turned into a black locust tree. It stood tall and had a terrifying aura. The tree trunk and leaves covered the sky and spread in all directions. Black leaves fell down and pierced through the sky. The surrounding people were shocked. What is this? Is it a beast? Humph! I don't care about a mere tree demon. The golden crow flame sneered and shot out golden crow flame that covered the sky. Behind him were the experts of the golden crow tribe. They were like suns that floated between heaven and earth. However, it was useless. Flames could suppress trees, but Black Mountain's tree was not an ordinary locust tree. The black leaves seemed to have turned into peerless swords that pierced through the flames and attacked the experts of the Golden Crow tribe. The Golden Crow flame was hit and quickly dodged. The others of the Golden Crow tribe behind him were not so lucky. The 5 Golden Crow experts were instantly pierced, and their souls were destroyed. Damn it! The Golden Crow flame's eyes turned red. The others were also shocked. This guy is so strong. Wind Blade, Fenghua, and the others shot out thousands of wind blades, each of which was enough to kill a Saint King. The powerful storm made them confident that they could fight against a supreme saint. However, a tree trunk fell, and the leaves on it blocked the storm. The tree trunk turned into a peerless spear and pierced through 7 Saint Kings. Blood dyed the sky. Their bodies were torn apart. Fenghua's face was pale, as if she had gone crazy. What kind of power is this? Her opponent's strength had surpassed that of a Saint King. Buzz. The black tree trunk with the leaves attacked again. This time, it attacked the Holy Heavens tribe. The Holy Heavens tribe's Saint Kings roared. Everyone had a mysterious heavenly diagram that connected them and covered the sky. However, it was useless. After the black leaves fell, the heavenly diagram shattered, and the 3 experts of the Holy Heavens tribe turned into blood mist. 6 experts of the Holy Heavens tribe were injured and flew back while vomiting blood. Kill! Black Mountain roared, and a tree branch flew out and attacked the Golden Crow flame again. The Golden Crow flame's scalp went numb, and he quickly dodged. However, he did not dodge this attack. Fallen, everyone was frightened and quickly retreated. Chapter 46, 67. Golden Crow Flame was at the peak of the Saint King realm, but he couldn't even block one attack. This black locust tree was too terrifying. The other party was a supreme saint. They were terrified. Lin Xian was shocked. Wasn't he too powerful? Was this Black Mountain? A leaf could kill a Saint King. It was terrifying. The others retreated, not daring to step forward. The people of the Purple Mansion looked cold. They couldn't block it alone. Sure enough, when the black leaf fell, 4 of them had fallen. Even if they had the ancient inheritance, even if they were powerful, they would still die in front of the other party. One of Purple Lotus Fairy's arms was broken and turned into a bloody mist. She covered her wound and retreated quickly. Her face became extremely ferocious. Damn it, there was a supreme saint. Damn it, Golden Crow how? And the others roared. Where was our supreme saint? Black Mountain said coldly. Your supreme saint had been banished to the starry sky when he entered. He couldn't come back in a short time. What? The surrounding people went crazy. Their supreme saint had disappeared long ago. Had he been teleported out? Damn it, they didn't know at all. Now that the supreme saint didn't come, who could fight against the other party. Black Mountain alone was enough to subdue the crowd. No one dared to step forward. He snorted, turned around, and said, "Kid, that's enough." Lin Xian nodded. He took a deep breath and released the dragon sword soul. He took out 10 storage rings one by one. The power inside poured into them. Lin Xian used the dragon sword soul with all his strength and attacked Lin Guiqiang. In front, the ancient bronze coffin emitted a terrifying aura to resist. The terrifying power exploded. The surrounding people were frightened and retreated quickly. They all retreated. There were even 2 peak Saint Kings who were still hesitating. They were torn into blood in an instant. When the others saw this scene, they didn't dare to step forward anymore. Now that the great dragon sword spirit had obtained enough power, it was able to display a powerful might. Although the power released by the ancient bronze coffin was terrifying, it was still not enough. Although the ancient bronze coffin was terrifying, the dragon sword soul could still split it open. Just like this, Lin Xian and Black Mountain walked forward. Finally, they came to the front. The aura of the dragon sword soul poured into the sky lantern and shattered the terrifying power around it. The sky lantern shook. Black Mountain reached out and grabbed it. Boom! His body trembled as countless runes appeared on his body. Lin Xian was astonished as he realized that he was very familiar with these runes. They were the Tao of the Celestial Court. Sensing this aura, the sky lantern stopped swaying. He Shan's body stabilized, and his eyes shone with a piercingly cold light. He finally obtained it again. There was hope for the heavenly court to be restarted. When the people in the distance saw this, they were incomparably astonished. The faces of the Z government's people were extremely gloomy. Damn it, did they really get their hands on it? A look of determination appeared in Z Lian's eyes. She said, "I can't let him succeed. Our great sage might have been teleported away. But so what? Our Violet Mansion has more than one great sage. Summon the great sage." The person next to him said, "No, we can summon them outside, but this is the space of the heavenly court. There are unique laws different from outside. We can't summon them at all. Using that kind of divine ability, regardless of the cost." A trace of coldness appeared in Zi Lian's eyes. The people around him felt their scalps go numb. Was he going to use a forbidden technique? They said, "Got it." 12 people walked out. Each of them cut their palms, and blood flowed out. Nearly half of their saint blood floated out and gathered in the air, forming a blood-red image. It emitted a terrifying aura. Zi Lian and the other 12 people formed hand seals and respectfully knelt on the ground. They respectfully called out, "Ancestor." At the same time, in the Z government, a mysterious aura bloomed. One figure after another rose into the air. Someone was using a forbidden technique to summon from a distance. What was going on? I don't know. Let's go take a look. This power can only carry one great sage. I'll go. The great sage of the Z government walked out. He took a step and disappeared. The remaining people frowned. Someone said, "It looks like there's a problem with the heavenly court's ruins. Hurry up and get ready." The people of the Z government moved quickly in the mysterious space of the heavenly court's ruins. When the others saw this scene, they were incomparably shocked. What were those 12 people doing? Were they really going to summon a great sage? No, we'll summon them too. The other clans of the ancients also moved. They also had more than one great sage. Their palms formed hand seals. Some people cast terrifying divine abilities, while others took out formations to teleport through space. However, it was useless. The heavenly court's Tao suppressed everything. What was going on? They couldn't transmit it at all. How did they do it? They were really too shocked. An elder from the Light clan said, "This was a forbidden superpower, and the price to pay was extremely high. At least half of these 12 people's saint blood was gone. More importantly, Each of them had lost at least 1,000 years of life. What? The other scalps went numb when they heard this. The price was indeed high. They had to use their lives to carry it out. And there were 12 of them. If only one of them used it, they would definitely die. The heavenly court space was too terrifying. Everyone was shocked. Shan in front was also preparing to light the sky lantern, so he didn't have time to pay attention to this. He said, "Kid, give me your golden saint blood." Lin Xian cut his finger. The golden saint blood fell into the sky lantern, but it quickly disappeared. Shan said, "It's not enough." Lin Xian gritted his teeth and continued to drip blood. Almost 1/3 of the golden saint blood could be seen in the sky lantern. Shan formed a hand seal and took out a treasure bottle. There was a terrifying aura inside it. It was a ball of flame. It was very small, but its power was extremely terrifying. He took out the flame and placed it on the sky lantern. The golden saint blood started to shine as its power. Countless mysterious Tao patterns appeared on the sky lantern. An even more terrifying and mysterious aura spread out. Was it really time for the sky lantern? In the distance, the people of the clan of the ancients were terrified. The 12 people of the purple mansion were pale. They were about to faint. At this moment, a figure gradually appeared in the blood-red pattern above them. Along with it was the aura of Grand Sage. He was about to be teleported over. Lin Xian and Shan naturally felt it too, but they didn't have time to care. At this moment, the earth and sky lantern had not been completely lit. It was the most critical moment. Everyone was extremely nervous. At this moment, a flame lit up in the darkness. The sky lantern was lit. It was done. Shan was overjoyed. Lin Xian was also shocked. Was this it? He felt that the sky lantern was emitting an extremely mysterious aura, but he didn't know what it was used for. At the same time, the figure of the great saint also descended from the distance. And as soon as he arrived, he shouted coldly. He shouted and slammed his palm forward. Below him, the 12 purple mansion saint kings immediately fainted. They had used up too much energy. The huge palm slammed into the sky with the power to destroy everything. It attacked the sky lantern. Chapter 46-68. The Purple Mansion Great Sage's cold voice rang out. Something that has already been destroyed has no need to live. Not good, Lin Xian exclaimed. He felt a great threat. With a wave of his hand, 2 willow branches flew out. These were given to him by the Shao family's guardian beast. They had already been broken by the great sage's attack. However, they still had some power. Lin Xian took them out. Black Mountain also shouted coldly. He grabbed the sky lantern with one hand and slapped it out at the same time. A deafening sound rang out. Lin Xian used the 2 willow branches to protect his body, blocking the attack. Countless cracks appeared on the 2 willow branches. It looked like he could only use them one last time. He took a deep breath, gritted his teeth, and looked forward. He saw a great sage in a purple robe. It was the Purple Mansion great sage he had seen before. "Brat, you actually helped the tyrant and helped the heavenly court activate the sky lantern. You deserve to die." The Purple Mansion great sage looked at Lin Xian. His eyes were filled with killing intent. A terrifying power erupted. His gaze turned into a divine sword and shot towards Lin Xian. This was the power of a great sage. It was really terrifying. Lin Xian used the dragon sword soul to block. With a clang, the gaze collided with the dragon sword soul. Lin Xian's arm went numb. It was about to shatter. However, he still managed to block the gaze. The people in the distance were shocked. Damn it, how did he do it? He could actually block the attack of a great sage. The difference between a sage king and a great sage was only one word. However, the difference in power was like heaven and earth. A great sage's gaze could kill them instantly. However, Lin Xian was only at the initial stage of the Sage King realm. He could block the attack of a great sage. It was really heaven-defying. The great sage's expression also darkened. He stared at the dragon sword soul and released a sharp light. You actually have a supreme treasure on you. Is this what gives you the right to be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian held the dragon sword soul and coldly snorted, You say I'm helping the tyrant? But in my opinion, you are the monsters. Stupid thing. The Purple Mansion great sage snorted and grabbed the dragon-shaped sword shadow. Such a supreme treasure was not worthy of an ant. Lin Xian roared angrily and slashed out with his sword, blocking the opponent's palm. At this moment, He Shan laughed coldly. You seem to have forgotten about me. With a wave of his robe, a terrifying energy burst forth. Countless black leaves pierced through the sky. The Purple Mansion great sage felt threatened and did not dare to be careless. He used his Purple Mansion great seal to fight back. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out as the aura of a great sage spread out in all directions. The flame of the sky lantern swayed from the wind, but it did not go out. After that strike, He Shan withdrew his palm. The Purple Mansion great sage's expression was also cold. Looks like you're also a great god. That's good. I'll kill you and destroy the sky lantern. He ignored Lin Xian and wanted to kill He Shan. In his opinion, Lin Xian was just an ant that he could kill at any time. Lin Xian's figure flashed as he quickly retreated. Two great sages were exchanging blows, causing the heavens and the earth to shatter. Fortunately, whether it was the bronze coffin or the nine-headed true dragon, they were extremely terrifying. They were far from being destroyed by the power of a great sage. Lin Xian was pushed far away. The people from the other clan of the ancients and the peerless sects were also terrified. However, when they saw Lin Xian, their eyes turned red. This kid had obtained 2 spiritual herbs from tens of thousands of years ago. More importantly, the sword shadow in his hand. That was a supreme existence that could block the attack of a great sage. It was a heaven-defying treasure. If they could get it, they would not hesitate. They didn't think about it any further. Instead, they quickly acted. Beside Lin Xian, the void cracked and a powerhouse of the Light Clan charged over. You're courting death, Lin Xian roared. Are you trying to kill me? He slashed out with his sword, and the powerhouse of the Light Clan dodged quickly. It's useless. You can't hit me. As soon as he finished speaking, the sword cut him in half, and his soul was instantly destroyed. At this moment, the power of the great dragon sword's soul still lingered. So, how could the Light Clan escape? Damn it! The eyes of the Light Clan members turned red. Light stepped forward and shouted coldly, Kid, if you don't use your supreme treasure, do you dare to fight me fairly? How dare he kill his people? He could not accept it. Lin Xian sneered. Do you have the right to say that? You can control the Light Clan, but can you control the others? A fair fight? Then all of you, get out of here. Jin Wuhao walked out and laughed. Light, you're too naive. Now is not the time to talk about fairness. Everyone, let's kill him and divide the treasures. I agree. Evil Spirit also walked over. Jin Wuhao and the people of the Phantom Sect watched covetously. The Wind Clan members were also tempted, but then Yi Wudao stepped forward and shouted coldly, Whoever dares to attack will be my enemy. I'll fight him. What do you think? We didn't have a winner last time, so let's do it this time. Then Radiance and Light shot toward Leaf Dowdenier. At the same time, Jin Wuhao snorted. Everyone, attack. The people of the Golden Crow clan, the Hidden Cloud sect, and the other experts all charged over. There was nothing they could do about it. The might of the great dragon sword soul was too terrifying. Furthermore, There were other secrets on Lin Xian's body that everyone wanted. Lin Xian's eyes were cold. You want to come? Fine. Then let's fight. Golden light bloomed in his eyes. Dozens of demonic beasts flew out, including the ice fire swan and the blackwater mystical snake. The moment the blackwater mystical snake appeared, it pierced through a person. The ice fire swan attacked, and the terrifying power of ice and fire spread out. Those who rushed to the front were shocked. Damn it, this guy can control demonic beasts, and not just one. Everyone be careful. No matter. This time it's not just the younger generation, but also the older generation. The elder of the Holy Heaven clan held the Holy Heaven diagram and attacked the ice fire swan. The people of the Hidden Cloud sect attacked the Blackwater mystical snake. A great battle broke out in an instant. Lin Xian's demonic beasts were strong, but the other side had more people. For a moment, they were at a disadvantage, and they were forced to retreat. Lin Xian was also in danger. Buzz. He waved the dragon-shaped sword in his hand, and with a slash, the late-stage martial Honorable Saint King Elder was split apart. The Saint King's blood was dyed red, and his soul could not be healed. Everyone was terrified. Damn it. Be careful of that sword. He's dead for sure. Everyone could see that every time Lin Xian used the dragon sword spirit, he had to rest for a period of time, so this gave them a chance to attack. A Saint King from the Light clan attacked again. He was very fast and came behind Lin Xian. This was a peak Saint King realm existence, and his strength was terrifying. Kid, without the sword shadow, can you still block it? The attack came down. Great, this kid is dead for sure. Everyone laughed. The void behind Lin Xian split open, and the three-eyed vermilion bird flew out, and monstrous flames rushed towards the Light clan expert. The Light clan expert's pupils shrank, and he quickly retreated. But he was too careless. Even with his extreme speed, half of his body was burned to ashes. He appeared in the distance, his face cold. Damn it, there's another demonic beast, and it's a peak Saint King realm demonic beast. The three-eyed vermilion bird spread its wings and shot out monstrous divine flames. Lin Xian jumped on the other party's back and looked down. Who dares to fight? Chapter 46-69. It's just a peak demonic beast. We have more than one peak Saint King on our side. The Golden Crow tribe's Saint King walked over again. Although the Golden Crow Raging Flame was killed, they still had peak experts on their side. The expert from the Light tribe walked over again. At the same time, the Serene Cloud sect also walked over. The three peak Saint Kings attacked the three-eyed vermilion bird together. No matter how strong the three-eyed vermilion bird was, it could not win. Behind them, Jin Wuhao sneered when he saw this. That kid is dead. The evil spirits were waiting for the right moment to strike. Once the other party fell, the rest of them would have to fight as well. Kid, let's see how you escape this time. The three peak Saint Kings sneered. Two of them suppressed the three-eyed vermilion bird. One of them charged towards Lin Xian. The Golden Crow tribe's expert charged towards Lin Xian with a dazzling light. Lin Xian was like a small boat in the wind, about to capsize at any time. But at this time, his lips curled into a smile. His eyes shone brightly again. Immediately after, another purple figure flew out from the black Earth ship. It was a huge creature. The moment it appeared, it slapped the Golden Crow tribe's expert with its claws. The Golden Crow tribe's expert's body caved in, and his bones shattered. He was sent flying while vomiting blood. Boom! He shattered the void, and blood dyed the 9 heavens. The people in the distance were stunned. The smile on Jin Wuhao's face froze. He roared, "Damn it! How did this happen?" The others were also in an uproar. This kid still had a trump card. Even the two peak Saint Kings who were suppressing the vermilion bird were shocked. They sensed a terrifying threat. The two of them quickly retreated. In front, the Qilin walked out and roared. Its aura exploded. It was the purple Qilin. Many people had seen this demonic beast before. They remembered that they had fought it together and chased it away. Why would it appear here? And why would it help Lin Xian? Could it be that this guy was also a demonic beast that Lin Xian had subdued? Impossible. Was this kid the one who had set this up? Two peak demonic beasts, guardians, and other late Saint Kings. Lin Xian could sweep through them. If it weren't for the fact that the remote antiquity families had joined forces with Yi Fuqian's uncle, none of them would have been able to contend against Yi Fuqian. For a moment, these people's faces turned cold. At this moment, the Purple Mansion Grand Sage, who was battling Black Mountain, pointed out with his finger. The dragon elephant finger charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian was shocked. The space he was in instantly shattered. Was he dead? Everyone was looking forward to it. Boom. A pagoda appeared from the shattered void. It swayed as Lin Xian walked out from it with a cold expression. Damn it, you still want to kill me? He Shan sneered. You're still in the mood to fight with me? Do you care about other things? He used a secret technique to force the Purple Mansion Great Sage back. One of the Purple Mansion Grand Sage's arms turned into a bloody mist. His expression was ugly. He no longer dared to care about anything else and fought back with all his might. How could he not die? Everyone was shocked. Aside from the dragon-shaped sword shadow, there was also a pagoda that could stop a great sage. This was a great sage artifact. Everyone's eyes turned red again. Lin Xian sneered. Purple Mansion, you deserve to die. He turned into a bolt of lightning and charged forward. At the same time, the vermilion bird and the fire Qilin accompanied him. The other demonic beasts obeyed his orders. Wherever he passed, everyone retreated. No one dared to fight back. Lin Xian came to the front. There were 12 figures. They were the 12 people from the Purple Mansion. They had used their lives to summon the Purple Mansion Grand Sage, but he had fainted. At this moment, some of them had already woken up, but they were still very weak. Zilian raised his head and saw Lin Xian's godlike figure. He was shocked. She gritted her teeth and said, "Do you dare to fight against the Purple Mansion?" Lin Xian said, "Not only will I fight against you, I'll send you to hell." With a slash of his sword, Zilian was cut in half. She didn't even have a chance to escape. The other people from the Purple Mansion shouted angrily, "Damn it! How dare you?" Lin Xian sneered and slashed again. One figure after another was cut in half. Why wouldn't I dare? He was like a god of death, quickly attacking the 12 Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen. In the blink of an eye, 6 of them had fallen. The remaining 6 were running away. "Patriarch, save us!" they roared. The Purple Mansion Grand Sage's face turned pale when he saw this. He wanted to stop Lin Xian, but he couldn't. The black-robed man in front of him was terrifying. He was a tree demon, but his strength was too heaven-defying, especially the leaves, which could pierce through anything. He didn't dare to be careless in the slightest. Lin Xian sneered and attacked quickly. Under his command, the three-eyed vermilion bird tore one of the Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen into pieces. The remaining people roared, "Kid, what kind of genius are you? Fight me one-on-one, if you have the ability." Lin Xian sneered. "You want to fight me one-on-one? Earlier, your great sage tried to kill me by relying on his own strength. Now, I'll let you experience the feeling of being crushed." As he spoke, the Qilin roared and slapped another Purple Mansion Grand Swordsman to death. The remaining 4 Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen were in despair. They looked around and said, "Stop him. We'll reward you handsomely." That's right. The Purple Mansion Grand Sage also roared, "My Purple Mansion Grand Swordsman will teach you a supreme technique." He was so angry that he was going crazy. Although he couldn't attack, the Purple Mansion Grand Swordsman had a strong foundation. They had once commanded many heroes, and now they were going to recreate their glory. Hearing this, the surrounding remote antiquity families were also tempted. Some of them prepared to attack. But it was useless. Everything was over. The great dragon sword soul unleashed its power again and slashed out, killing the remaining 4 Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen. Those who were nearby were also sent flying, their faces full of fear. Dead. The 12 Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen were all dead. Those from the remote antiquity world didn't have the chance to attack again. They were terrified. So many of them were killed by a young man. It was unbelievable. In the distance, the Purple Mansion Grand Sage was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, were all his subordinates dead? His heart was bleeding. The Purple Mansion Grand Swordsmen were all top geniuses, and their future was limitless. Each of them could dominate a region. Now that they were all dead, how could he explain it? Just as he was panicking, Black Mountain pierced through his body, and the leaves shattered his expression. Damn it, he couldn't suppress him alone. Was he really going to return empty-handed today? Kill that kid! The Purple Mansion Grand Sage roared. I'll reward you handsomely. After that, he ignored them and focused on dealing with Black Mountain. The members of the clan of the Ancients looked solemn. They had thought the same before, but after Lin Xian had shown so many powerful trump cards, they all hesitated. Would they really be able to take him down? Normally, they would find it ridiculous. There were several peak Saint Kings here, and many late-stage Saint Kings. They could kill an early-stage Saint King with one look, but now they couldn't do it. Even if they attacked with all their strength, they might not be able to take him down. Chapter 4670. Jinwu, how gritted his teeth. Everyone, let's attack. This kid has many trump cards, but he's only an early-stage Grand Sage. I don't believe that he has so much power to support these trump cards. He's already at the end of his rope. He can't use them anymore. As long as we seize the opportunity, we'll control the pagoda, and he'll definitely die. Yes, that's right. Some people also stepped forward, their eyes shining. The others also took a deep breath. Let's go all out. This kid has many treasures. If they really killed him, they would have enough to split. Why? Do you still want to attack? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The purple Qilin and three-eyed vermilion bird under his feet roared. The Blackwater mystical snake and the Frostfire swan roared furiously. Although the 2 beasts were covered in blood and their bodies were broken, they were still injured. Their bodies were stained with blood, but they were still not afraid. Lin Xian was like a supreme divine king. His eyes emitted a piercing light. I'll give you a big gift. He used the heavenly secret divine eye with all his strength. The 12 diagrams of heavenly secret erupted with the power of reincarnation. A golden eye appeared in the sky. It enveloped heaven and earth. These people weren't made of steel. They all had their own interests. Under the influence of Lin Xian's eye technique, their souls were also affected. Soon, some people's eyes turned red, and they began to fight each other. The situation became uncontrollable. Damn it, it's a soul eye technique. Don't fall for it. Some peak experts and elders shouted angrily. Their eyes were red as they charged toward Lin Xian. Die. Lin Xian roared furiously and struck out with his sword again, killing 2 peak stage Saint Kings. The others retreated in shock, not daring to go forward. Lin Xian's face was also pale. The power in the 10 storage rings that Black Mountain gave him had all been used up. The dragon sword soul dimmed and entered his body. That's great. Seeing this, many people were delighted. Some quickly rushed over. With a boom, Lin Xian was forced back. He used the Grand Sage Pagoda to block it. His face turned cold. Kid, no matter the price, I'll kill you today. 3 figures walked over with earth-shattering power. Boom. The 3 of them attacked Lin Xian aggressively. At this time, another large hand appeared in the sky and enveloped the 3 of them. No, damn it, what kind of power is this? Who was it? The three of them were terrified. These were three extremely terrifying elders. However, at that moment, they were turned into a mist of blood by a single palm strike. Lin Xian was also sent flying by this force. Luckily, he had the Grand Sage Tower, so his body didn't split apart. Lin Xian's face turned cold. That attack just now was definitely an attack from a great sage. Who was it? The Purple Mansion Great Sage? He turned his head and saw that the Purple Mansion Great Sage was also shocked. He Shan retreated and did not attack again. However, his expression turned cold. The others were the same. The golden eye in the sky disappeared, and everyone no longer felt the threat to their souls. Their scalps went numb. Had another great sage arrived? Which clan was he from? A low and deep laughter rang out, causing one's hair to stand on end. A figure walked over. Unexpectedly, even the legendary sky lantern of the heavenly court was here. Hand over the sky lantern, and I'll spare your life. Everyone was terrified. It was indeed a great sage. Lin Xian was shocked. He was here for the sky lantern. He Shan snorted. You? That's right, me. That person walked over. Everyone saw that it was an old man. His face was old, and his hair fell to the ground like a waterfall. There were even bones on some parts of his body. This person didn't have much time left. If I get the sky lantern, I can get the inheritance of the heavenly court. Maybe I can live for a few more 1,000 years. So, I won't give up. Humph! The Purple Mansion Great Sage's face turned cold. However, he quickly smiled and said, "Don't worry, fellow cultivator. I'll help you." Compared to the person in front of him, He Shan was more terrifying because the other party might have some kind of relationship with the heavenly court. The person in front of him only wanted the treasure, so he decided to work together to kill He Shan first. Then he would deal with the person in front of him. Very well, the newly arrived old man said with a cold laugh. He also knew that He Shan was very powerful, so he was prepared to work together. The two great sages walked up. The sky shook, and the earth shook. He Shan's situation instantly became very dangerous. Lin Xian's face turned pale. Damn it, two great sages. What should I do? He Shan roared. You think two great sages can suppress me? If I was at my peak, you wouldn't be able to fight me with one hand. Not even now. I'll show you the true power of the sky lantern. The true power of the sky lantern? The surrounding people were also shocked. Wasn't it just a symbol of status? In their opinion, He Shan didn't use the sky lantern when he fought with the Purple Mansion Great Sage, so they thought that the sky lantern was not very powerful. Now, it seemed that was not the case. Lin Xian also frowned. The Great Sage Pagoda on his body floated up and down, ready to enter at any time. Attack. The Purple Mansion Great Sage seemed to have thought of something. His expression changed, and he quickly attacked. Dragon Elephant Finger. He pointed with his finger, and it was extremely terrifying. At the same time, his other hand used the Great Desolate Heaven Splitting Hand. Two powerful techniques suppressed heaven and earth. The other great sage was also extremely terrifying. His body was old, but the power in his body was indeed terrifying. He punched out, and the dazzling light was like the fist of a god, shining brightly. The two great sages attacked with all their strength, and the ground shook. The void kept shattering. Run! The people in the distance frantically retreated. Some of the closer ones who didn't manage to escape in time were immediately sent flying and turned into a bloody mist. The other clan of the ancients and the peerless sects didn't dare to move forward at all. It was too terrifying. The three great sages destroyed everything. Lin Xian was also shocked. He entered the Great Sage Pagoda. The Great Sage Pagoda also shook. The Great Sage Pagoda was extremely terrifying, but these people were great sages. Therefore, the great sage pagoda could no longer completely protect him. Fortunately, Lin Xian's body was also strong. He blocked most of the attacks, and the rest were blocked by Lin Xian's divine body. But he knew that this wasn't the way to go. Facing the two figures who were like gods of war, He Shan was fearless. He activated the sky lantern in his hand. The great Tao on it intertwined, and then suddenly exploded. The golden sage blood in the sky lantern burned rapidly. A terrifying aura spread out. The divine fire flew out and floated forward. The dragon elephant finger and the great desolate heaven-splitting hand melted quickly under the divine fire. Was it that powerful? Lin Xian was shocked, and the two great sages' expressions changed drastically. Oh no! They quickly retreated. The Purple Mansion great sage created a barrier of light that cut off the sky. The other great sage's hair turned into a waterfall and swept out like a black dragon, dancing between heaven and earth. But soon it ignited. He couldn't block it at all. Half of his body was burned by the divine fire, and he roared crazily. Fellow Taoist, block it. I don't believe that he can use it endlessly. The Purple Mansion great sage shouted coldly. It seemed that he was using an extremely powerful divine skill. Chapter 46-71. Although the sky lantern was powerful, it required a lot of energy. Currently, it only had some golden sacred blood left. After that, it would run out of energy. The sky lantern would also be extinguished. Black Mountain snorted coldly. Then I'll turn you into lamp oil. He transformed into his true form. Countless branches shot toward the withered old man, wrapped around him, and pulled him into the sky lantern. The old man roared crazily and tried to resist. However, as soon as he got close to the sky lantern, all of his power seemed to be ignited. His entire body was enveloped by a ball of divine fire. Fellow cultivator, stop. I don't want the sky lantern anymore. I won't attack you anymore. Please let me go. It's not easy for me to cultivate. It's not easy to cultivate? How dare you plot against me? Repent in your next life. Black Mountain was unmoved. He exerted more force and completely ignited the old man. The old man's body melted and turned into blood that swayed between heaven and earth. Finally, he entered the sky lantern. The sky lantern's fire suddenly erupted. Its power was 10 times stronger than before. After all, it was the blood of a supreme sage. It was much more powerful than Lin Xian's. Next, I'll deal with you. He looked at the Purple Mansion great sage. The Purple Mansion great sage's scalp went numb. He felt that his life was in danger. The sky lantern was like a divine artifact. He could not resist it at all. Of course, he also knew that it was impossible for him to escape. He had heard some legends about the sky lantern before. Now, his only chance was to block this attack. Then he would have a chance to escape. Thinking of that, endless lightning bloomed from his body. Every move he made carried an aura of supremacy. As a supreme sage, he was not to be trifled with. Secret skill of burning blood, overlord fist of heaven and earth. The sacred blood in his body quickly burned. He roared angrily, and it was as if a god had descended to the world. He was extremely powerful. He pushed out a palm, causing everyone to panic. Lin Xian quickly retreated with the supreme sage. He knew that he was going to risk his life. Black Mountain held the sky lantern in his hand and quickly formed a hand seal. The sky lantern shone brightly, and divine fire floated out again. An earth-shattering sound rang out, and a destructive aura swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. At that moment, even the ancient bronze coffin shook violently. Not good. Retreat. The people from the remote antiquity clans and great powers were running away as fast as they could. The people of the Light Clan were the first to escape. They came out of the desert, Then he continued to flee. Then the Wind Clan and the Golden Crow Clan fled one after another. However, half of the people remained in the desert forever, killed by the destructive power. Damn it, those people's hearts were dripping blood. Just by watching the battle, their losses were already so great. However, they didn't dare to say anything. Lin Xian also felt the violent impact and many cracks appeared on his body. Damn it, even the Grand Sage Tower was unable to completely block it. What kind of secret technique did the other party use? The foundation of the Violet Palace realm was too deep. At this moment, he heard Black Mountain's voice transmission. Brat, quickly hide inside. I'll give you a good fortune. Whether or not you can get it depends on you. Even if you can't get it, you can still keep your life. As he spoke, Lin Xian felt Black Mountain grab the Great Sage Pagoda and fly him quickly. The next moment, he saw the ancient bronze coffin being opened, and then Black Mountain threw him inside. Boom! The ancient bronze coffin closed once again. Lin Xian felt that his surroundings had become incomparably quiet, and all the power had disappeared. What was going on? He was stunned. Did Black Mountain open the ancient bronze coffin? What was it that gave him a good fortune? Was there something good in the ancient bronze coffin? Thinking of this, he walked out of the Great Sage Pagoda and looked around. The inside of the ancient bronze coffin was very dark. Lin Xian's body burned with the 9-yang divine fire, shining in all directions like the sun. The ancient bronze coffin wasn't big. It was just a place for burial. So Lin Xian couldn't walk around freely. After he came out, he could only stay in a strange position. Moreover, he didn't find any corpses. There was nothing buried here. What was that? Suddenly, he found something in a corner of the ancient bronze coffin. He reached out his hand. It lit up the front. Finally, he saw that it was a jar, a black jar. This jar didn't have a lid and was incomparably black. There was a strange pattern drawn on it that made one's hair stand on end. What was this? A sacred artifact? A good fortune had to be at least at the level of a great sage artifact, and from the looks of it, it might be an offensive weapon. Lin Xian was overjoyed. However, at this moment, the black jar floated up and arrived in front of Lin Xian. Lin Xian was curious and grabbed it with his hand. The moment he grabbed it, he regretted it. Suddenly, the black jar emitted an extremely terrifying devouring power that devoured his entire body. No, Lin Xian roared and fully activated the 9-yang divine body. His fist landed on it, producing an earth-shattering sound. However, with his physique, he couldn't shake it at all. The jar didn't move at all. Buzz. Lin Xian felt his soul float out. He saw his body fall down and be buried in the ancient bronze coffin, and he was sucked into the pitch-black jar. Damn it, what was going on? Did this guy suck away his soul? Was he going to die? This was an unprecedented experience. Now, he only had a soul. He didn't have a body, the great dragon sword, or the great sage pagoda. All of his trump cards were gone. He only had his soul. The pitch-black devil jar was so terrifying. Lin Xian felt that he had entered a mysterious vortex. His soul was constantly being crushed, as if it was about to dissipate. Was this a good fortune? Lin Xian didn't know. But soon he regained his fighting spirit. Even if there was nothing, so what? Along the way, other than these trump cards, his own strength couldn't be underestimated. I want to see just how mysterious this broken jar of yours really is. Lin Xian's soul bloomed with light as he resisted. The surrounding darkness seemed to have turned into a millstone, constantly crushing his soul. Every time, Lin Xian felt his soul shatter. However, in this mysterious jar, even if his soul shattered, it could heal again. This pain made Lin Xian hover between life and death. Fortunately, his willpower was strong enough to withstand it. However, this was like a reincarnation cycle. His soul shattered, healed, and shattered again. He didn't know how long had passed. He even forgot that he only had one belief, and that was perseverance. Outside, Black Mountain sent Lin Xian into the ancient bronze coffin, then continued to activate the sky lantern. A great battle broke out. Although the secret skill of the Purple Mansion Saint was very terrifying, it couldn't withstand the sky lantern. In the end, the divine flame of the 1,000 lantern burned everything and enveloped the Purple Mansion Saint. The Purple Mansion Great Sage let out a miserable shriek as he, too, was transformed into oil. The two great sages turned into oil, and the surrounding space shattered. Only the ancient bronze coffin and the 9 dragons were intact. Chapter 46-72. The divine flame on the sky lantern returned to normal. Black Mountain looked at the bronze coffin below and sighed. He had already gotten what he wanted. As for the creation, it was up to him. He knew that there was something inside, but it would not be easy to get it. Black Mountain came back to his senses and looked around. Then he placed the sky lantern in front of him again. He kept forming hand seals and set up an array formation. The flames on the sky lantern scattered throughout the entire space, as if it was carrying out some ancient ritual. At this moment, the array formation was imprinted on the sword of heaven and earth. A divine flame appeared in the eyes of the true dragons in front. Boom. Their ice-cold bodies began to move. Boom, boom, boom. 9 true dragons soared into the sky, shattering the void. The chains on the 10 true dragons made earth-shattering sounds. The bronze coffin was pulled up and flew into the sky. They had set off. Black Mountain put away the sky lantern. Looking at this scene, he quickly retreated. From this moment on, the heavenly court was reactivated. Outside, in the vast desert, the people of the clan of the ancients and the peerless sex were shocked. What was the situation inside? They could not sense it. After all, it was an independent spatial world. That guy should not be able to hold on. Who knew? However, Lin Xian did not come out. He might have died in the battle between the sages. Unfortunately, he was full of treasures. Some people sneered. It doesn't matter. We'll go in after those great sages leave. They all wandered around the desert and did not leave. Suddenly, the desert in front of them shook. Everyone soared into the sky in fear again. What happened this time? Look, the desert split open. What was that? It came out. Countless people were stunned. 9 true dragons soared into the sky, tore open the void, and rampaged between heaven and earth. Behind them was a huge bronze coffin. Was it alive? These people were dumbfounded. They could not help but want to kneel down and worship it. They had sensed that those true dragons did not have any aura. Now that they could fly, could it be that they were still alive? They did not dare to imagine what was buried in the bronze coffin. The bronze coffin flew in the sky. When the sun shone on it, everyone was stunned. At that moment, they seemed to have seen the scene inside the bronze coffin. There was a figure inside. However, they could not believe that figure. It was that brat. Isn't that Lin Xian? Why was he in there? In the next moment, they couldn't see it anymore. However, that scene was forever imprinted in their minds. Damn it, what happened after they left? Why did those dragons come to life? Where were the 3 great sages? Was he dead? Where are the sky lanterns? Was Lin Xian dead? This was the question on everyone's mind. Even if he didn't die, they probably wouldn't be able to get the treasures on him. Most likely, no one knew the truth of the matter. Perhaps only the great sages knew the truth. However, the great sages were nowhere to be seen. The 9-headed true dragon had already disappeared from the world. No one knew where they had gone. At the same time, they realized that the entire heavenly court ruins had changed. It quickly sank into the ground and disappeared. These people rose into the air and looked at the heavenly court that had already disappeared. They were incomparably shocked. This matter was really too mysterious. True dragons were incomparably mysterious. Lin Xian was buried in the bronze coffin. In addition, the sky lantern was reignited. It indicated that the heavenly court had reopened. Each of these things was earth-shattering. No, they had to hurry back and inform their families. These people quickly returned. They had to mobilize all their forces to search for the treasures. They had to find the treasures. Everyone moved quickly. Not long after, the clan of the ancients and the great sects learned about it and sent people to investigate. The people of the Purple Mansion were the fastest. When the Purple Mansion Great Sage was teleported, they had already begun to set up things here. Therefore, they also saw the nine-headed true dragon. However, no one dared to go forward. The scene was too shocking. After the nine-headed true dragon and the bronze coffin disappeared, they moved quickly. First, they went to the heavenly court ruins to investigate, but there was nothing there. Damn it, what was going on? Where was the Purple Mansion Great Sage? They waited for many days, but the Purple Mansion Great Sage didn't return until recently. The great sages who were teleported away returned one after another, but there was no sign of the Purple Mansion Great Sage. The great sages from before had been teleported away. When they returned and learned the truth, they all roared at the sky. Damn it, they had been tricked. They had lost a great opportunity. If they hadn't been teleported away, there would have been 7 great sages. If they had joined forces, they would have definitely been able to open the bronze trial and obtain the sky lantern. They might even have been able to obtain the heavenly court's inheritance. However, it was too late now. Search for it. Taiching Ancient City had been thoroughly explored. However, there was no news at all. Lin Xian was nowhere to be found, and the black-robed man was nowhere to be found. Where did the sky lantern go? No one knew. Everything was a mystery. Time passed quickly. Taiching Ancient City had undergone earth-shattering changes, especially the top prodigies from before. They had entered the heavenly court ruins and obtained some fortunes. Their rapid cultivation had allowed them to break through and increase their strength greatly. It could be said that it was comparable to hundreds or thousands of years of cultivation. Among them, Feng Huang, Jin Wuhao, Evil Spirit, and the others had all broken through from early stage Great Sage King. They had broken through to mid-stage Great Sage King. Light and Yi Wudao had not broken through. However, they had reached the peak of early stage Great Sage King. Both of them had the primordial body, and the power they needed was even more terrifying. Although they hadn't broken through, their strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. They weren't inferior to Jin Wuhao, Evil Spirit, and the others. In fact, they were even stronger. In addition to these top prodigies breaking through, a new batch of prodigies had also appeared in the other primordial families and great sections. After all, each of the primordial families and great sects had obtained some fortunes. Some had even obtained spiritual herbs from tens of thousands of years ago and used them to refine pills which could create a batch of prodigies. These people had fought with each other. Yi Wudao sighed, wondering how Lin Xian was doing. Hearing this name, the others turned solemn. There were also some who sneered. A dead person should have been buried in the starry sky long ago. There was no need to talk about it. That's right. Only prodigies who were alive had a future. Dead, nothing at all. Was Lin Xian really dead? Qin Xianer was also in a daze on a mountain in the Purple Mansion. She had secretly investigated after receiving the news, but she didn't find anything about Lin Xian. It was as if he had really been hidden in the ancient bronze coffin and disappeared. To be honest, she couldn't believe it. Lin Xian was such a top prodigy. He had suppressed Jin Wuhao, Evil Spirit, and the others. He had the potential to become a great emperor in the future. But now he had fallen. It was hard to imagine. Chapter 46, 73. Mount Eternal. This was a forbidden land of death. No one dared to come here. Even a saint would turn into a pile of bones here. There were many ancient cities around Mount Eternal, as well as some great sects and families. They were very powerful. At this moment, a huge city was very lively. Today was the 7,000th birthday of a grand elder of the Palace of Immortals, which attracted countless people. The Palace of Immortals had a very ancient heritage, and it was also a great sect. They were all grand elders' birthdays. So naturally, the people they invited were all very terrifying. Among them were many great sects, and even some powerhouses from top families. These people gathered together, and it was very lively. However, at this moment, the sky darkened. There was an extremely terrifying force pressing down on them. Everyone felt terrified. Some saint kings rose into the air, their faces full of shock. What was going on? Even the great saint's eyes shone with divine light, piercing through heaven and earth. The 7,000-year-old grand elder of the Palace of Immortals shouted angrily, "Come down, there's a peerless enemy." He felt a fatal threat. Indeed, the great saints' faces were extremely ugly. At this moment, everyone descended from the sky, looked up at the sky, and waited quietly. In the sky, a huge creature flew past. The people below saw it clearly. They were extremely shocked. There were 9 huge dragons in the sky, each of them 1,000 meters long, with cold scales. Under the illumination of the sun, they bloomed with brilliance. They painted a peerless divine light that pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. 9 true dragons. Were the powerhouses of the dragon clan here? The people below were shocked. Even the great saints were facing a great enemy. The dragon clan was extremely mysterious. If they were really 9 top-notch experts of the dragon clan, perhaps something earth-shattering had happened. However, the grand elder of the Palace of Immortals frowned. Cold sweat flowed down his face. What was going on? The 9 true dragons had a terrifying aura. However, he didn't seem to feel the existence of chi, blood, and souls. The 9 true dragons were all dead. What kind of power was that? It was supporting their flight. What was even more shocking was yet to come. They found that the 9 true dragons were all chained, and on the other end of the chain, it was an ancient bronze coffin with mysterious Tao patterns carved on it. The aura of the ancient coffin was even more terrifying. Just a single glance at it would cause one's soul to tremble in fear. What sort of existence was buried in that ancient coffin? The grand elder of the Temple of Immortals almost fell to his knees. Could it be that this was the legendary phenomenon of heaven and earth? The people from the other great sects were also shocked. Some of the older generation experts sucked in cold breaths. There were records of this in their ancient books. The 9 true dragons pulled the bronze coffin across the sky. Countless people prostrated themselves in worship. It was said that an immortal was buried inside. At that time, they thought it was just a legend and didn't pay much attention to it. And now, such a scene had actually appeared before their eyes. Hearing the words of these older generation figures, the other people directly knelt down and began to worship. An immortal had descended from the heavens. Someone muttered softly, "Even if they were all dead. Weren't they all buried?" "Shut up." A middle-aged man turned around and slapped the man's face. "Do you want to die? How dare you disrespect an immortal?" The young man was so scared that his scalp went numb. He immediately knelt on the ground. "Elder, please calm down. I won't dare to do it again." Everyone was paying attention. No one dared to be presumptuous. They watched quietly as the 9 true dragons and the bronze coffin streaked across the sky. Then they flew towards a distant corner. Was he about to land? He was nearby. Countless people were shocked. Could it be that an immortal opportunity was about to descend in their area? These people were all excited. If they could obtain it, Wouldn't they be able to ascend to the immortal realm? Let's go and take a look. These people soared into the sky, their eyes red. The young geniuses were very fast, but they were soon left behind. The experts of the older generation, and even the supreme elders, were mobilized. A few great sages were the fastest. They tore through the void and flew over quickly. The others followed closely behind. This was supposed to be a birthday banquet, but now they couldn't care less. They had to see where the 9 true dragons and the ancient bronze coffin had landed. That was great. Everyone saw that the 9 true dragons were descending. If they landed, they would be able to obtain the inheritance in the ancient coffin. Those people went crazy. The 5 great sages were extremely fast. They passed through everything and forgot everything. There was only the ancient bronze coffin in their eyes. Suddenly, those great sages roared. No, the grand elder of the immortal hall looked terrified and quickly retreated. The others also fled crazily as if they had encountered the most terrifying thing. What was going on? What happened? The people behind were stunned. In the next moment, they saw something terrifying. A great sage was covered in uncomfortable flames, but at this moment, his flames were quickly moving in front of him. His powerful body withered and finally turned into a pile of white bones and fell from the sky. Grand Elder, the Grand Elder of the Fire God, Temple knelt down and cried. That was their great sage. Had he fallen just like that? Everyone couldn't believe it. After the other 4 great sages returned, they retreated. In front of them was Mount Eternal. What? It was actually Mount Eternal. Countless people were terrified and quickly retreated. They had known the terror of Mount Eternal since they were young. It was a forbidden land of death that no one could enter. Especially now, a great sage had fallen in an instant. Everyone knew that. Even a great sage couldn't enter this forbidden land of death. Damn it, they had entered Mount Eternal. Those great sage elders looked at the ancient bronze coffin as it fell into Mount Eternal. Their faces became extremely ugly. Originally, they had great hopes of getting the immortal opportunity, but now it seemed impossible. No one could enter. These people's mood fell from the sky to hell. Originally, it was a blessing that they could get close to the immortal opportunity. But now, it seemed that their luck was still a little worse. The opportunity was right in front of them, but they couldn't get any closer. Behind them, among the younger generation, a figure stood there with his hands behind his back. Looking at this scene, his eyes flickered. His figure was very strange, as if he had merged with the void. There was actually an immortal opportunity. Gu Feng looked at this scene and frowned. He looked at the surrounding elders and said, "Hurry up and inform the family." The elders nodded. They had already secretly used a formation to send back the news of what had happened here. Beside Gu Feng, there was a figure wearing a battle suit and was incomparably handsome. He looked to the side and said, "Brother Gu Feng, I wonder if we can discuss something." "Brother Su Lai, what's the matter?" "Say it," Gu Feng said with a smile. Su Lai walked out, looked in all directions, and said, "Everyone," hearing this, everyone turned their heads around. Su Lai was the #1 genius of the Palace of Immortals. His strength was very terrifying. He was the future palace master of the Palace of Immortals. Now that he stood out, what was he going to do? Chapter 4674. Even the elders and grand elders of the Palace of Immortals were puzzled. Although Mount Eternal was terrifying, the immortal opportunity was hard to come by even in tens of thousands of years. "We can't miss it," someone said coldly. "Young man, do you know how dangerous Mount Eternal is? A great saint in front of us had died." Yes, although the immortal opportunity was good, one had to be alive to take it. These people shook their heads. "Of course, we can't do it, but what if we use an extreme weapon?" Everyone was surprised when they heard this. Some elders gasped. The Grand Elder of the Palace of Immortals' eyes lit up. His eyes lit up. He smiled and walked over with large strides, looking at Gufeng Gugongzi. Can we join forces and use an extreme weapon? Let's go in together and obtain the immortal opportunity. The others also came back to their senses. Yes, they were here to celebrate the birthday. In addition to these great sects and families, there was another family that was very special. That was the Huanggu family. It was an emperor family, the Gu family. This was a family that had a great emperor. In the family, there was an extreme weapon, the Void Mirror. If they used the Void Mirror, they could display the extreme power. Even if Mount Eternal was powerful, it probably couldn't hurt the extreme weapon. They might really be able to obtain the immortal opportunity. The elders of the Gu family changed their expressions. They had just sent the news, and these people were already thinking about it. Gu Feng frowned slightly and glanced at Su Lai. This person seemed to be too meticulous. He actually thought of such a thing. It would be difficult for him to refuse now. After all, dozens of families and sects around him were staring at him, especially the four great saints. Their eyes were burning. If he refused, these great saints would instantly change their faces. Taking a deep breath, Gu Feng said, "Normally, extreme weapons only had the effect of intimidating others. If one wanted to use an extreme weapon, it would consume too much energy. This was not a problem." The Grand Elder of the Palace of Immortals waved his hand. "How many resources do you need? We'll take them out together." That's right, the Fire God Palace also stepped forward. His eyes were red. Their great saint had fallen, and they had to gain something. Otherwise, their losses would be too heavy. The other experts also expressed that they were willing to provide resources together. They would open the Void Mirror together to see the immortal opportunity. What could it be that young Master Gufeng was unwilling? Or could it be that the Gu clan wanted to secretly use the Void Mirror to monopolize the celestial opportunity? Someone said coldly. The expressions of the Gu family members changed, and Gu Feng's eyes flickered. Who were they? She dared to sow discord. However, this voice was incomparably ethereal. No one knew who it was. The other people's eyes darkened with a trace of coldness. The expressions of the Gu clan's people turned ugly as they secretly transmitted messages to each other. It seemed that it was impossible for them to monopolize it. Gu Feng also gritted his teeth. Then he transmitted his voice. "Forget it. Let's join forces. In any case, the imperial weapon belongs to our clan. Even if we do have the immortal fate in the end, we will still be able to use it. We also have an absolute advantage." That was indeed the case. If they had it, then they had it. They had absolute control. In fact, this is what I wanted to say, but Brother Su Lai said it in advance. Gu Feng smiled. "We do indeed have such thoughts. Everyone can work together to open up the immortal opportunity." "Really? That's great." The surrounding experts all laughed. The four great sages were incredibly excited, especially the prime elder of the Hall of Immortality. He was already very old. To be honest, his lifespan was already less than 200 years. He might even have less than 100 years left. He would die soon. So no matter what, he had to get the final opportunity. That was indeed the case. Only the secret technique of the Hall of Immortality could allow him to live for so long. Other great sages would not be able to live for so long, unless they had heaven-defying spiritual herbs. Even so, no one could escape the reincarnation of the heavenly Tao, unless they could become immortals. Everyone, let's return to the Hall of Immortality and make a good plan. The prime elder of the Hall of Immortality suggested. The others nodded. All right. They went back again, but this time it was not for the birthday banquet. It was for the immortal opportunity. After returning, these people began to take action. The various sects took out a lot of resources. Let's gather together. Then, They returned to the Gu clan together to activate the Void Mirror. As a great emperor clan, the Gu clan had produced a great emperor. The Void Great Emperor cultivated spatial magic, which was extremely terrifying. On this day, the people of the Gu clan were also extremely solemn. Were they finally going to use the extreme weapon? And it was not a passive defense. They were going to use the extreme weapon to attack with force. 3 great sages of the Gu clan walked out as the hosts. Around them stood the great sages of the other clans. Furthermore, the resources that they had brought with them were all placed in the formation. The array flickered with light, and a terrifying aura spread out. At this moment, everyone felt their scalps go numb. Even the great sages were shocked. A mirror rose into the air, flickering in the sky. In front of this mirror, everyone felt insignificant, as if they were ants. Was this the Void Mirror? The great sages and prime elders of the Hall of Immortality and the Fire God Palace were shocked. It was too powerful. This was the foundation of a great emperor clan. The awakening of the extreme weapon had the power of extreme Tao, which was equivalent to the power of a great emperor. This power should be enough. A great sage of the Gu clan said, if the power continued to increase, they might not be able to control it. All right, then let's get ready to go to Mount Eternal. Everyone rose into the air. Many people had already gathered at Mount Eternal. They were all from the great sects and the clan of the ancients. These were the elders and the younger generation. They were all gathered here. It's here, someone said. Countless people looked up and saw a terrifying light in the sky. Everyone bowed down in worship. This was the aura of extreme Tao. It was extremely powerful. They couldn't bear it. Fortunately, this aura wasn't targeted at them. The people of the Gu clan came to the sky and took a deep breath. They activated the Void Mirror and lowered an aura. With a crack, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Everyone knelt on the ground. As for Mount Eternal in front of him, a crack was torn in the void. Everyone was shocked. It was too terrifying. This was the power of an extreme weapon. A great sage would be turned into a skeleton in an instant. There was no way for him to escape. But now, in front of an extreme weapon, he seemed to be unable to resist. This was great. The great sages of the other sects beside the Gu clan were overjoyed. The prime elder of the Hall of Immortality was wearing the Immortality battle armor. This time, he went in with boundless hope. He had even donned the Longevity armor, a legendary sacred artifact. On the other side, a prime elder of the Fire God Palace was wearing a cloak. It was also the Immortality battle armor, the Fire God cloak. The group of people set off in a mighty manner. The Void Mirror in front of them tore open the void. Everyone walked in. Their hearts were extremely nervous. After entering Mount Eternal, they felt an extremely terrifying aura coming towards them. It was as if it was going to take their lives. Chapter 46-75. Fortunately, the Void Mirror was fixed in the void. It unleashed its extreme danger and blocked the attack. That was great. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. In addition to these great gods, there were also a few peak elders. They all had the hope of becoming great saints. There were also some young geniuses who also had the hope of becoming great saints. Therefore, these people were also brought in. Among them was Su Lai of the Palace of Immortals, Gu Feng of the Gu family, Huilinger of the Fire God Palace, and a few other geniuses. There were about a dozen of them. As for the other elders and young disciples, they stayed outside Mount Eternal. Countless light screens appeared in front of them. It was a shield of light formed by spell formations, and all of the great sages had spell formations attached to them. They were able to deduce what they were seeing. This way, those outside could see the scene inside without going in. It could be said that this was a very precious experience. These people stared at the light screens in front of them without blinking after entering Mount Eternal. Everyone was very careful. Although they had the protection of extreme Tao weapons, they still did not dare to be careless. This was because they discovered that there were many terrifying Tao patterns in Mount Eternal. These great Taos were much more terrifying than what the great saints, had mastered. They might even have been left behind by the great emperors. Perhaps this was the reason why it was a forbidden land of death. In front, the great saint of the Gu family, Gu Fei, said coldly. Fortunately, the place where the bronze coffin landed was not too far away. If it was in the depths of Mount Eternal, I'm afraid that we might not be able to enter even with emperor weapons. Indeed, they could already see the figure of the nine-headed true dragon now. It would not take long for them to arrive. Finally, they came to the front and saw the nine-headed true dragon and the terrifying bronze coffin. Their eyes flickered. Another great saint of the Gu family waved his hand and struck out a spatial magic. It formed a spatial rift and enveloped the true dragon. They could naturally see that the nine-headed true dragon was extremely mysterious. Obviously, its entire body was a treasure. If they could take it away, it would be an endless treasure. The rift could devour everything. However, it lost its effect on the nine-headed true dragon. The rift struck the true dragon's body and directly shattered. The surrounding void turned into chaos. How could this be? The Gu clan's great sage frowned. Gu Fei said in a low voice, "Don't be too greedy. Let's start with the true dragon." With their strength, it was impossible for them to take everything away. With that, the great sage nodded and focused on attacking a true dragon. In addition, the other great saints of the Longevity Hall and the Fire God Palace also made their moves. There were 9 of them here, which was more than enough for everyone. However, they soon despaired. No matter what divine abilities or great Tao they used, it was impossible to shake it in the slightest. The Supreme Elder of the Eternal Life Hall looked into the sky and grabbed the true dragon's body, intending to take it away. However, he found that he didn't move at all. It was as if the power of a true dragon had surpassed his limits. Cracks had appeared on his palm. Helpless, he could only let go. The others also retracted their divine power laws, their expressions turning ugly. Even if they came here, there was nothing they could do. From the looks of it, he would have to use an extreme weapon. The elder from the Longevity Hall looked up ahead. Gu Fei formed a seal with his palms, and the void mirror hung down. His aura turned into chains and wrapped around a true dragon. An extremely terrifying aura suddenly erupted from the true dragon's body and spread to the surroundings. At the same time, Mount Eternal released an indestructible force and charged over. The void mirror shook and a terrifying aura spread. The surrounding great saints felt their hair stand on end. "Damn it, what's going on? Give me your power." Gu Fei's expression changed drastically. This force was too terrifying, and the surrounding people didn't dare to be careless. They attacked with all their might. They gave all their power to the void mirror. The void mirror bloomed with radiance and an extreme aura. The terrifying mirror swept through everything. Only then did it block the indestructible path. The great saint of the Fire God Palace said, "Don't think about the true dragon. Just attack the ancient coffin with all your might. If they open the ancient coffin, there must be something incredible inside. It might be an immortal." These people's eyes flickered, and they moved away from the true dragon and landed on the ancient bronze coffin. Gu Fei said, "Okay." In the next moment, everyone attacked together. The void mirror bloomed with radiance and extreme power. They attacked the ancient bronze coffin. With a clang, the 9 heavens and 10 lands shattered. The people outside Mount Eternal all prostrated on the ground. What kind of scene was that? It was as if the god of thunder had descended. Mount Eternal had also undergone some changes as a terrifying aura emanated from it. There was even a low roar that made people's hair stand on end. The great saint's expressions changed. Damn it, what kind of secret was inside? They didn't know. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, the surroundings darkened, and they couldn't see their own fingers. There was a terrifying aura. It surged towards them. With a whoosh, everyone's blood boiled. Not good. Someone was attacking. Who was it? The void bloomed with radiance, and the extreme weapons swept across. The entire Mount Eternal had been completely plunged into darkness. Everyone could only vaguely see black shadows attacking them, and there was more than one. They were attacking from all directions. Not good. Everyone was terrified. Gu Fei also frowned. They didn't have many resources left, and they couldn't control the void mirror for a long time. So, they used all their power to attack the ancient bronze coffin. Under the attack of the extreme weapons, the ancient bronze coffin shook violently. However, it didn't break. Moreover, Gu Fei couldn't attack anymore. The surrounding black shadows were very terrifying, and they were dangerous to them. He could only use the void mirror to defend. When Gu Feng saw this scene, he said, "Old ancestor, not good. There isn't much energy left." Gu Fei gritted his teeth and retreated. The others were unwilling, but what could they do? Not to mention the ancient bronze coffin, even the black mist was extremely terrifying. If they stayed here and the energy was used up, they would definitely die. While the extreme weapons were still powerful, they quickly retreated. These people drove the void mirror and quickly left, tearing the void apart. The people outside were stunned. Even with the extreme weapons, it didn't work. They could only protect themselves. After those people outside came out, they all heaved a sigh of relief. The black mist in front gradually disappeared, and Mount Eternal returned to its tranquility. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, no one would have believed it. The scene from before was like a dream. The great saint's expressions were extremely ugly. They all returned to the Gu family to discuss the price. A great saint from the Gu family said, "It seemed that the power of the extreme weapon could indeed block Mount Eternal. It's just that we seem to be using the wrong method." Su Lai also said, "Seniors, I have an idea." As he spoke, everyone turned to look at him. Although this was a young man, he was also a top genius. In the future, he wouldn't be weaker than them. Chapter 4676. Su Lai took a deep breath. Legend. The one buried in the ancient bronze temple might be an immortal, an existence that transcended everything. Isn't it disrespectful for us to attack directly? I think it might be an immortal punishing us. Then what can you do? Gu Feng frowned. Su Lai said, "It seems that we have to offer a sacrifice first to express our respect. We open the ancient bronze coffin just to see the immortal's glory." "Yes, that's right." Another great sage nodded. "Go, prepare the best sacrifice for me." Gu Fei also stood up and said, hoping that everyone could provide strength again. They had already used up the last time. Those great sages had ugly expressions, but they still nodded. "Okay, no problem. We'll prepare now." Everyone went back and mobilized all their strength to prepare. It was either to collect resources or to collect sacrifices. They were going to enter Mount Eternal again. In the darkness, Lin Xian opened his eyes. His soul felt like it was about to split apart. In the next moment, he felt a powerful force enveloping him. He was shocked. What was going on? What happened? Where was this place? There were many questions in his mind. He slowly calmed down and began to observe. His surroundings were pitch black. He couldn't tell where he was. Suddenly, he remembered that he was placed in the ancient bronze coffin by Black Mountain. He found a terrifying black jar, and then his soul. It was swallowed by the black jar. Now, he had already fallen. Was he in the underworld? No, he shouldn't have fallen yet. Lin Xian could feel that his soul was still there, and it was much stronger than before. This was simply unimaginable. Now, even a late-stage holy king couldn't compare to his soul. What was going on? It was definitely not so terrifying before. Could it be because of that black jar? Lin Xian remembered that after his soul was swallowed, it was crushed. Then it healed and was crushed again. Perhaps this was the effect of countless tempering. Why did he wake up? Logically speaking, he had already fallen into a cycle. He carefully recalled that the ancient bronze coffin seemed to be shaking violently. Was someone opening the ancient bronze coffin? Forget it, he had to find a way to return to his body. His soul began to spread in all directions. The next moment, he felt that his surroundings were no longer so dark and he could move. In fact, he even saw a body lying there. What's going on? Wasn't this his physique? He could see it. Did he come out? No, he was still inside the black jar. He saw it through the jar. Could it be that this jar had already been recognized and was under his control? Thinking of this, Lin Xian was overjoyed. This black jar was incomparably mysterious. Perhaps this was the opportunity that Black Mountain was talking about. He had also paid a huge price to obtain it. However, it was not easy for him to leave the black jar. He felt that his current strength was not enough. It seemed that he had to think of another way. Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry. Now that his soul had been greatly improved, he was very happy. In his opinion, there would always be a way. It was better to wait patiently for now. In fact, it was the attack of the extreme weapon that had awakened Lin Xian from his slumber. Those from the Gu family, Longevity Hall, and Fire God Palace gathered again. It could be said that they had gone crazy in order to find offerings and resources. Finally, they found them as quickly as possible and were ready to strike again. At this moment, countless powerhouses and great saints had gathered outside Mount Eternal. Those people were similar to before, but this time they were more prepared. They had to go in. Gu Fei took a deep breath, and the other great saints nodded solemnly. The void mirror rose into the air and forcefully broke through the void, flying forward. Not long after, the crowd arrived in front of the ancient bronze coffin. This time, with their previous experience, they did not act rashly. Instead, they were careful. Gu Fei stood in the void and said coldly as he took out the offerings. The people around him took out their storage rings and took out many things from them. There was an ancient altar, a jade table, a stone bench, and many other offerings. These were all extremely precious treasures of heaven and earth. They were spiritual springs condensed from the 9 heavens. On Mount Tempest, there were spiritual herbs that were tens of thousands of years old, and all kinds of rare treasures. At this moment, they were all taken out. In their opinion, these things would not disappear, so they took out the best. It showed their sincerity. Perhaps then, Immortal would not attack them. In the ancient bronze coffin, Lin Xian opened his eyes again. What a terrifying power! He felt a strong sense of danger. They had already entered the ancient bronze coffin. What was it? This time, he used the black jar to reach out his soul and look outside. Finally, he saw clearly. There were so many people, and there was more than one great saint. What was going on? Were they from the Z Mansion and the clan of the ancients? His expression was ugly. Damn it, the great saints of these clans had returned and wanted to attack him by force? If that was the case, then he was in danger. He wondered how Black Mountain was doing, but soon he realized that it was not the case. They were not from the Z Mansion, the Foam Clan, or the Golden Crow Clan, but some other people. These people were also extremely terrifying. Who were they? He looked carefully. Then he was extremely shocked. He saw a familiar figure in the crowd behind him. Gu Feng. The other party was also here. Then The people in front of him should be from the Gu clan. Those who were with the Jia clan were either from the Great Sex or the clan of the Ancients. What were these people here for? This was especially true of the mirror above them, which caused him to feel apprehensive. It definitely surpassed all the weapons. Could it be the Gu clan's extreme weapon? Lin Xian was stunned. Could it be that these people wanted to use extreme weapons to attack him? His face was about to turn green. But soon, he was stunned because he found that the people outside had placed offerings. Then, they respectfully began to worship the bronze coffin. An old man clad in battle armor walked out and spoke in a clear voice. A supreme existence that was in deep slumber. Please forgive us for being rude. We don't want to disturb you, but we really want to take a look. Please forgive our recklessness, Supreme Immortal. After saying that, they began to kowtow 3 times and kowtow 9 times. Heavens, what was going on? These people were kowtowing to him. Lin Xian was surprised. Soon he understood. These people must have thought that there was a group of immortals buried in the ancient bronze coffin. That was why they were so respectful. He was also shocked. What was buried in the ancient bronze coffin in the past? One had to know that those people outside were not fools. They were the most terrifying group of people. These people must know some ancient secrets, which was why they were so respectful. It seemed that the ancient coffin was indeed not simple. The heavenly court also had endless secrets. Chapter 4677. However, that was not what he needed to focus on now. What he needed to focus on was the offerings in front of him. Those were all top-notch heavenly treasures. The old herbs among them were not inferior to the ones he had risked his life to snatch. Lin Xian felt that he had to think of a way to get those things. First of all, it would be a waste not to take what these people offered. He needed these powers very much now, but how to get them was still a problem. At this moment, the black jar shook. Lin Xian was surprised. What was the use of this thing? Now that he had gained the recognition of the black jar, he could use it. His soul power quickly spread out, and the black jar emitted a black light. The next moment, a vortex appeared. Outside the ancient bronze coffin, some of the great sages kowtowed 3 times and 9 times, extremely respectful. But at this moment, a vortex suddenly appeared in front of them, sucking in the offerings they had placed. All of them were swallowed. What was going on? These great sages raised their heads in shock. Someone shouted angrily, "Do you want to die? Who dares to steal our things? Shut up!" The Grand Elder of the Immortal Hall snorted coldly. "Can't you see that that thing has entered the ancient bronze coffin in front of us? That's because the immortals are using our offerings. We have been recognized by the immortals." After saying that, he knelt on the ground even more respectfully. The others were also shocked, and they all looked around. As expected, the vortex swallowed the offerings and floated into the ancient bronze coffin. Everyone gasped. The eyelids of the great sages of the Gu family twitched. Could it be that there was really an immortal buried inside? Thinking of this, they also prostrated on the ground and shouted respectfully, "Immortals above, please protect us." Inside the ancient coffin, many heavenly treasures appeared in front of Lin Xian. Each of them was a heaven-defying existence. Any one of them would make a great sage jealous. Lin Xian was stunned. This was the credit of the black jar. It was too unbelievable. This thing seemed to be able to devour everything. Very well, he began to use it. He brought the spiritual spring formed by the stars of the 9 heavens into the jar. His soul began to return with the power of the spirit spring. When his soul left the black jar and entered his body, Lin Xian couldn't help but want to roar. "I'm finally back. It hasn't been easy." He had also used up all of the spiritual spring water. Lin Xian didn't mind. With a wave of his hand, he collected all the treasures. He consumed it himself and gave it to the great dragon sword spirit. If these things were taken out and discovered by those great sages, they would definitely want them back. It was better to consume it first. These things were all unique treasures of heaven and earth. Lin Xian's physique and great dragon sword spirit consumed a lot of energy. Golden Crow, How, Wind Phoenix, and the others had broken through, but Leaf Dowdenier and Light hadn't. It could be seen. The ancient barren body was indeed terrifying. Lin Xian's divine body was no weaker than a sacred body, and with the addition of the great dragon sword soul, he needed even more power. After swallowing these treasures, Lin Xian felt the power in his body surging. He felt as if he was about to break through. He might even break through to the middle stage of the Holy King realm. Lin Xian suppressed his breakthrough. He knew that he was still shrouded by the heavenly punishment. If one were to break through in an ordinary place, they would be attacked by the heavenly punishment. He had to find a place with a great emperor. Let's think about how to leave the ancient coffin first. Lin Xian opened the sky with his palms. He hit the ancient coffin. He found that with his strength, it was difficult to open it. At this moment, the black jar flew over and floated. Lin Xian thought that it should be possible to use this thing. He poured his power into the jar. The black jar emitted a black light and created a black vortex. The ancient bronze coffin shook and opened. Outside, those people knelt respectfully. After waiting for a while, they found that nothing happened. They were all stunned. Was there an immortal inside? Just as they were wondering, the ancient bronze coffin in front of them let out a loud bang. Everyone looked up and found that the ancient bronze coffin slowly opened. A figure sat up. There was really someone. These people became excited again and looked carefully. So young. Was this an immortal? They saw a young man sitting up. Then he stood up from inside. They looked around curiously. Greetings to the exalted immortal. These people began to kneel. Lin Xian looked around and felt a terrifying aura. He was shocked. What was this place? Why did it have such a terrifying aura? When he saw that the great sages in front of him were kneeling to him, his eyelids twitched. Did these guys think that he was an immortal? This was good too. He didn't have to explain. If the other party knew that he was just an ordinary lesser sacred king, he would probably be captured. She would immediately conduct research. When that time came, her secret would be exposed. Are you living beings from the lower realm? Lin Xian asked indifferently. A hint of cold arrogance appeared in his eyes, as if he didn't put the common people in his eyes. Living beings from the lower realm? The great sages were shocked. Was he talking about them? Perhaps in the eyes of the exalted immortal, they, the great sages, were similar to ants. They hurriedly said, "That's right, we are the native living beings of this world. Exalted immortal has descended. We came to pay our respects just to see your immortal appearance. Raise your heads." Lin Xian said indifferently, "Thank you, exalted immortal." The great sages below were so excited that they were like children. They all raised their heads and carefully visualized. Gu Feng also raised his head, wanting to see what the legendary immortal looked like. But in the next moment, his eyes almost fell out. Damn, how could it be him? He jumped to his feet. What was going on? The others frowned as they looked at each other. Gu Feng was too bold, wasn't he? How dare he be disrespectful to an exalted immortal? The great sages of the Gu family also frowned. Feng couldn't be rude and quickly knelt down. Gu Feng almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Kneeling to the other party? What a joke. But the current situation was that those great sages were all kneeling, and he had also knelt to the other party before. This made him go crazy with anger. He said, "Ancestor, he's not an exalted immortal at all. His name is Lin Xian. He's just an ordinary genius." What? The people of the Gu family were stunned. The other great sages were also in an uproar. Gu Feng knew this person? Gu Feng said, "That's right. He's Lin Xian from the buried Emperor planet. He's not an immortal at all." The great sages' faces instantly darkened. Did they just kneel to a young junior? What a joke. The great sages of the Gu family had cold, killing intent in their eyes. They had to tear the other party into pieces. How dare he lie to them? Lin Xian also frowned. This Gu Feng was really a bad person. He sneered and said indifferently, "It seems that you ants from the lower realm, you're really tired of living." He looked at Gu Feng and said coldly, "You said that I'm an ordinary person? Are you sure that an ordinary person can come out of here?" Gu Feng snorted coldly. "Kid, don't pretend to be mysterious. If you're really an immortal, then take out your immortal technique." The others also looked up. Yes, immortals should be far stronger than them, but why? Why couldn't the other party sense a strong aura? Chapter 4678. I came to the lower realm and suffered some injuries. I haven't recovered yet. Are you doubting me? If you're not convinced, come forward and fight. The faces of the surrounding great sages flickered. Although they were shocked by the level of Yang Qi's cultivation base and power, they were still shocked. They had their doubts, but they couldn't go forward. They could stand here now because of the void mirror. If they left the void mirror, they would definitely die. And even with the void mirror, they couldn't walk to the ancient bronze coffin. Because they had tried before, but there was a powerful force blocking them. But the other party could stand there now. This meant that the other party definitely had a strange energy that surpassed them. The Grand Elder of the Hall of Immortals said, "This was an immortal, but he was injured previously. Besides, immortals came from the immortal world, and there were also young people in the immortal world. You don't know anything, so don't talk nonsense. If you angered an immortal, be careful of his power." That's right. The elder of the Fire God Palace also nodded and paid his respects to the immortal. "Immortal, please give me the way to live forever." The other great sages also knelt down. Seeing that some people really knelt down, Lin Xian was shocked. These people were really greedy. They wanted to prolong their lives. And there was one more thing. He knew that it was because his appearance was too strange. Who would have thought that he could walk out of such a mysterious ancient bronze coffin? So it wasn't impossible to scare these great sages. Gu Feng still didn't believe it. He gritted his teeth and said, "If you're an immortal, you should walk out. Walk around Mount Eternal, and I'll believe you." The great sages of the Gu family also had a piercing light in their eyes. They wanted to see this immortal. Did he really have the strength? "Immortal, please use your immortal technique and let us see," the Grand Elder of the Hall of Immortals said excitedly. The others also turned their gazes over. Lin Xian frowned. Was Mount Eternal very magical? He had never heard of it. "Okay, then I'll let you see." With that, he took a step forward, left the ancient bronze coffin, and walked forward. Everyone's hearts became nervous. Even Gu Feng clenched his fists. "Kid, keep pretending. Even great sages don't dare to enter Mount Eternal without the protection of the void mirror. If he went out, he would definitely die." Although Lin Xian didn't know what kind of place Mount Eternal was, he could sense the terrifying aura here. He could sense it. Therefore, he did not dare to be careless. When he came out, he brought the black jar with him. He felt that this black jar was very magical. Perhaps it could have an unexpected effect. Sure enough, the black jar exuded a mysterious aura, as if it had swallowed the indestructible Tao around it. Lin Xian left the ancient bronze coffin and walked into the distance. The people behind him watched nervously. Gu Feng was still thinking that this kid would turn into a pile of bones in an instant. However, when he saw that Lin Xian had already walked far away, he was dumbfounded. How could this be? He roared in disbelief. Lin Xian walked back and laughed coldly. "What? You still dare to question me now? He didn't dare to do it again. The great saints shook their heads. Lin Xian looked at Gu Feng. Ancient Wind roared, "Damn it, you are." Before he could finish, he was pressed to the ground by a palm. It was Gu Fei's hand. Gu Fei said coldly, "Feng, do you still want to be presumptuous? You're getting more and more unruly." "Ancestor!" Gu Feng struggled. Gu Feng said coldly, "Why aren't you kowtowing and apologizing to the exalted immortal?" "Damn it!" Gu Feng gritted his teeth, unwilling to accept this. Lin Xian laughed coldly. "Kowtow and apologize? That's not enough." A hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes. The great saint of the Gu family felt his scalp go numb, and he hurriedly begged for mercy. "Exalted immortal, please spare my life. Seeing that he's a young junior and doesn't know any better, please spare my life. Please spare my life. The Gu family is willing to offer another sacrifice. Please spare my life. Exalted immortal. All right, I'll take out a few stalks of immortal herbs." Hearing this, the great saint's expression turned ugly. They did not have such things. They said, "We don't have immortal herbs, but we can take out 3 stalks of herbs that are tens of thousands of years old. We can compensate them." Lin Xian said, "That's not enough. He questioned me before? Just slap him." Lin Xian knew that it was impossible for the Gu family to kill Gu Feng. He would think of a way to torture him. Gu Fei stood up and said, "I understand." He walked in front of Gu Feng and sent him flying with a slap. "You're courting death. Do you think you can challenge an exalted immortal?" Gu Feng's face instantly swelled like a pig's head, and all his teeth were broken. Roar! Gu Feng even felt like dying. He roared, and Gu Feng slapped him again. Gu Feng did not dare to say anything else. He lowered his head and begged for mercy. "Exalted immortal, are you satisfied?" After a few slaps, Gu Fei turned around and asked respectfully. Lin Xian nodded. Suddenly, a golden light appeared in his eyes. He was surprised. He had the aura of a demonic beast on him, and it was a void beast. "Am I right?" Gu Feng was shocked. Did he see through me in an instant? He did have a void beast on him. He had obtained it from somewhere else. "It's not bad. Give it to me," Lin Xian said indifferently. Gu Feng gritted his teeth. He had no choice but to take it out under the watchful eyes of the great saints. After the void beast came out, it kept roaring. Obviously, it recognized Lin Xian. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. "You dare to fight against me?" Gu Fei went up, slapped the void beast unconscious, and handed it over respectfully. Lin Xian took it, threw it into the demonic beast pouch, and instantly sealed it. He had seen this void beast before. He had even cut off its tail. It was made into a void beast skin. He did not expect it to fall into Gu Feng's hands in the end. Now it was in his hands again. "Oh, right. Where is this place?" Lin Xian asked. The Grand Elder of the Hall of Immortals said, "This is Mount Eternal." They quickly explained the origin of Mount Eternal. Lin Xian was also surprised after hearing this. It turned out to be a land of death. It seemed that it was at least at the great emperor level. Perhaps he could break through here. He said, "Wait for me outside." Yes, no one dared to resist. They could only retreat and go outside Mount Eternal. The people outside were also stunned. Did an immortal really appear? It was unbelievable. Those great saints warned the young disciples that they must be respectful and must not challenge the other party. After Gu Feng came out, he directly flew away. He did not want to stay here any longer. Otherwise, who knew how that guy would torture him? After those people left, Lin Xian walked into Mount Eternal again. He began to transcend the tribulation. He no longer suppressed his power. Soon, lightning condensed in the sky. At the same time, terrifying red lightning filled the air outside Mount Eternal. When the great saints outside saw this, they were shocked. Heavenly punishment? Could it really be an immortal? Perhaps his bloodline has surpassed this world. The heavenly Tao will not tolerate it. Everyone was worried. But not long after, they did not notice that the heavenly punishment had disappeared. Only ordinary lightning descended. This made everyone even more shocked. The Grand Elder of the Hall of Immortals said, as expected of an immortal, he has tricks up his sleeve. He can even hide the heavenly punishment. Chapter 4679. The others were also deeply convinced of this. Fortunately, Gu Feng left in advance. Otherwise, he would definitely vomit blood. Damn it, what kind of evil method did that kid use? Why was it so strange? Lin Xian didn't know that the appearance and disappearance of Tianfa made the great sages outside more convinced. They were even more convinced that he was an immortal. At this moment, he was going through the tribulation with all his strength. Half a month later, he finally walked out successfully. The aura on his body was much stronger than before. He was now a mid-stage great sage king. His strength had undergone an earth-shattering change compared to before. The current late-stage great sage kings were no match for him at all. Lin Xian could compete with a peak great sage king. Using his many trump cards, it wouldn't be a problem to kill a peak great sage king. Thinking of this, the corners of his mouth curled up. He was really looking forward to his next breakthrough. Lin Xian guessed that when he broke through next time, he would probably be able to compete with a great sage. After Lin Xian came out, the great sages outside were still waiting respectfully. After seeing Lin Xian, their eyes lit up and they all walked up. Exalted Immortal, you're here. Exalted Immortal, please come to my longevity palace. I will definitely treat you well. Let's go to the Fire God Palace first. These people spoke one after another. The people from the Gu family also walked over and said, we are a clan of the ancients. We will definitely satisfy you. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Everyone, don't worry. The immortal opportunity that you want will be given to you. However, he didn't go because there was an emperor weapon there. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, he wasn't a match for an extreme Dao weapon. If his identity was really discovered, he wouldn't be able to escape at all. So, after thinking about it, he went to the Longevity Palace. Firstly, the Longevity Palace didn't have an extreme Dao weapon. Secondly, there was a Grand Elder. He didn't have much lifespan left. He could use the other party's heart to make them trust him more. Moreover, Lin Xian didn't plan to stay here for too long. He still had to return to Taiching Ancient City. After all, the Z Mansion was there. Previously, there were many peerless sects and clans of the ancients who wanted to kill him. There were some things that needed to be resolved. Lin Xian followed the Supreme Elder back to the Longevity Hall. The Supreme Elder was overjoyed. He was so excited that he almost fainted. He returned to the Longevity Hall. After that, the people from the Longevity Hall were also extremely shocked. They used the highest standard to welcome Lin Xian. The other remote antiquity families and peerless sects were also envious. They sent out their young disciples to pay their respects. If they could become friends, it would be a great opportunity. Therefore, they issued an order, regardless of the price. They had to stay by each other's side. No matter what the other party wanted, he had to satisfy them. After returning to the Longevity Hall, Lin Xian went into seclusion without meeting anyone. He first stabilized his cultivation before entering the Great Sage Tower to suppress the Void Beast. The Void Beast was also extremely powerful. It had reached the late stage of the Saint King realm and was about to reach the peak of the Saint King realm. Before, Lin Xian had been unable to suppress such a demonic beast. But this time, after using the black jar, his soul power had greatly increased. Therefore, he could completely control it himself. The other party had planted the seal of life and death in the other party's soul. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. With this void beast, it was equivalent to having an array formation by his side. He could teleport and hide in the void at any time. Exalted Immortal, did you have a good rest? An old voice came from outside. Needless to say, it was the Supreme Elder. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He had to think of a way to make this old guy cultivate in seclusion. He waved his hand and opened the door. The other party walked in respectfully and handed over some spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs. Lin Xian accepted them without hesitation. Then he said, "Go and cultivate again. If your cultivation can improve by another level, I will teach you immortal techniques." "Really? That's great. Thank you, Exalted Immortal." The Supreme Elder was extremely happy. Then Lin Xian said, "There's no need to let those old guys come. I don't have anything in common with them. Let some young people come." "Yes, Exalted Immortal, I understand." The Supreme Elder went back. He quickly found a group of young people from the Longevity Hall. Among them, Su Lai quickly rushed over. These young people were extremely excited. This was an immortal. If they were lucky, they could obtain an immortal opportunity. At the same time, the Fire God Palace, the Gu family, and other sects all sent people over. They were all young geniuses. Many of them were peerless fairies. It seemed that they planned to stay by Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian was very calm towards these fairies, which was even more shocking. As expected of an exalted immortal, he didn't care about the creatures of the lower realm. "Hello, Exalted Immortal. My name is Su Lai. If you have any instructions, just tell me directly." The tall man stood there and smiled. At this moment, another person also walked over. "Exalted Immortal, I'm from the Fire God Palace. My name is Huiling." This was a peerlessly beautiful woman. Her every move would attract the attention of everyone. Lin Xian nodded and looked at another person. That person said, "Exalted Immortal, I'm from the Gu family. My name is Gu Li." In addition, a few top geniuses also introduced themselves. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to the following people. They definitely weren't the top geniuses. However, he still let them follow him. Lin Xian was very calm. He stayed in the Longevity Hall for a while before going to the Fire God Palace. He also went to other places. The only place he didn't go was the Gu family. He wouldn't go to a family with an extreme weapon. The Gu family thought that Gu Feng had offended the other party, so they hurriedly sent over a lot of natural treasures. At the same time, they punished Gu Feng and even made him face the wall to reflect on his mistakes. In a cliff, Gu Feng stood there, unable to go out. He gritted his teeth and roared at the sky. "Damn brat!" He really couldn't understand. The other party was clearly from the buried emperor, star like him. How did he become an exalted immortal? Damn it, it was all because of the ancient bronze coffin. How did the other party hide in the ancient bronze coffin? He really couldn't understand. Lin Xian was quite satisfied with his life here. Not only did he have enough resources, but Lin Xian was also able to see the top cultivation techniques of these sections. For example, the Longevity Hall had a cultivation technique called the Longevity Technique. Lin Xian found that it was very similar to the Longevity Technique. Could it be that the art of longevity was from the Hall of Longevity? Lin Xian was surprised and went to ask some people from the Longevity Hall. Of course, he was beating around the bush. In the end, he found that it might really be from the Longevity Hall. However, it wasn't from the modern era. It might be a cultivation technique from the Longevity Hall in the ancient era. Later, it was lost. The other cultivation techniques were passed down, but the Longevity Technique was in Lin Xian's hands. After Lin Xian finished reading the Longevity Hall's techniques, he had a deeper understanding of the Longevity Technique. At the same time, he also understood that the greatest advantage of the Longevity Hall was their powerful recovery ability. At the same time, their lifespan was also longer than others. This was also a huge advantage. Chapter 4680. The Fire God Palace had a technique called the Fire God's Thunderclap Palm. Lin Xian was very interested in it and studied it for a while. As for the Gu family, they didn't give him any techniques or inheritance, only some spiritual herbs and spiritual fruits. He also knew that the inheritance of the great emperor's family would never be passed to outsiders. The Purple Mansion had never given up looking for the true dragon and the ancient bronze coffin. They wouldn't allow the heavenly court to reopen. They had been secretly sending people to investigate. Finally, they received some news that something seemed to have happened at Mount Eternal. Therefore, they sent people to investigate. In the sky, a spirit boat flew quickly. A few figures walked out from inside. The one in the lead was an old man who swept his gaze across the area. He looked at Mount Eternal in the distance, his eyes shining. He was going to visit the surrounding sects and ask about it. He really found a problem. Had an immortal appeared? How was this possible? The people from the Purple Mansion were shocked. They decided to meet this immortal. One had to know that the Purple Mansion had always been known to have an immortal fate. Now that an immortal had appeared, how could they not be shocked? Finally, he came to the Palace of Longevity and asked for an audience. "I'm here to see an immortal." Those people were also surprised when they learned that the other party was from the Purple Mansion. Naturally, they had heard of this ancient sect. They also learned that it had reopened recently. They didn't expect that an expert from the Purple Mansion would come here. The people from the Palace of Longevity respectfully invited him in. The people from the Z government were very arrogant. The leader was an old man. Even in front of the people from the Palace of Longevity, they were high and mighty. The Palace of Longevity was a great sect, and the Purple Mansion was above the great sects in the past. Therefore, they had always been arrogant. After arriving, he said, "I want to see that immortal." From his words, it seemed that he didn't have much respect for his ancestors. Soon he was invited to a mountain peak and saw a group of young people surrounding him. They surrounded a man, and it was extremely lively. The people from the Purple Mansion walked up and said they heard that an immortal had come from Mount Eternal. They didn't know who it was. The people in front of them all turned their heads and frowned. Who was this guy? Why was he so arrogant? If he wanted to see an immortal, he had to kneel on the ground for 3 days and 3 nights. Let's see if our immortal has time. The old man from the Purple Mansion frowned. Was this a joke? Were there really immortals in this world? To be honest, although they claimed to have immortal fate, they were still very doubtful. Are there immortals? Even if there was, it couldn't be someone from Mount Eternal. Therefore, they did not believe this immortal at all. Didn't you hear what I said? The elder of the Purple Mansion coldly snorted. How dare you? Hualinger of the Fire God Palace snorted. Who do you think you are? How dare you make a fuss here? Get out. The faces of the people from the Z government became extremely ugly. It had always been others who respected them, since when had anyone dared to scold them? We're from the Violet Palace. A young man walked out and said coldly, Purple Mansion. Hualing, and the others frowned. They had naturally heard of it. Who would have thought that it would be the other party? At that moment, an indifferent voice came from the front. So what if he was in the Purple Palace realm? You dare to be disrespectful to this immortal? He was courting death. The exalted immortal has spoken. Hurry up and scram. Su Lai took a step forward. This is the territory of the Longevity Hall, not a place where the Purple Mansion can behave atrociously. The young man was so angry that he vomited blood. However, the old man stopped him. He then said, We're not here to cause trouble. We're really here to see the immortal. Perhaps we were disrespectful before, but now we're respectfully asking to see the immortal. Humph, That's more like it. Su Lai snorted coldly and said, "Come over." He waved his hand. The people from the Purple Mansion all walked over. They were filled with endless curiosity. In the next moment, they saw a man sitting in front of them. He was surrounded by endless heavenly materials and earthly treasures. At this moment, the man's body was blooming with multicolored light. It was obvious that he had consumed too many heavenly materials and earthly treasures. The energy had not been completely dissolved. How extravagant! When the people from the Purple Mansion saw this scene, their eyelids twitched wildly. Even if they had an ancient inheritance, they did not receive such treatment. When they saw the man's real face, they were stunned. One of the elders jumped to his feet. "Damn brat, it's you? How can you be an immortal?" He was really shocked. They had come here to look for him, even though they had never seen him before. Although they had not seen him before, they had seen his portrait countless times. At this moment, after seeing him, they instantly recognized him. Damn it, he's just an ordinary sage king. When did he become an immortal? Lin Xian looked at the other party and sneered. "He was disrespectful to me. Who killed him? I'll teach him immortal techniques in the future." After hearing this, the eyes of the surrounding people turned red. Su Lai took a step forward and said, "Exalted immortal, I'll kill him." A great longevity palm slapped forward, bringing with it an incomparably vast power. It was endless. Boom. The old man was someone from the older generation. Thus, he was able to shatter the great longevity palm with a punch. Su Lai's blood boiled. Then he roared, "How dare you behave so atrociously in my territory, men!" With a roar, an elder rushed over from afar. Huiling also said, "Everyone, let's attack together." Hundreds of young geniuses had gathered around them, and they were fighting one-on-one. They might not be a match for the elders, but at this moment, how could the elder block them all together? He only brought 3 people with him. No matter how strong they were, they could not withstand the attacks of hundreds of geniuses. In an instant, they roared miserably. "Damn it! How dare you attack us? The Purple Mansion sect will not let you off. How dare you threaten us? Do you believe that we can send you to hell now?" Su Lai sneered and attacked even more fiercely. Not long after, the 4 people from the Purple Mansion sect were seriously injured. They were pressed to the ground. "Exalted immortal, how should we deal with these people?" Su Lai, Huilinger, and the others all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian walked over and sneered. He then took the storage rings of the people around him. Then he said, "Cripple their cultivation bases. Leave the rest to me. I'll deal with them properly." "Damn kid! How dare you?" the elders of the Purple Mansion sect roared. But then they were terrified. Their cultivation bases were really crippled. No, they were desperate. Without their cultivation bases, they were no different from ants in front of Su Lai. Lin Xian waved his hand and put all of them away. He sent his soul into the 4 storage rings and then threw them into the void. "Why don't you divide these things among yourselves?" Although the things inside were not bad, Lin Xian did not take them seriously. Compared to the treasures he had obtained so far, they were not worth mentioning. There's an ancient divine power inside. Su Lai, I'll give it to you. Really? Su Lai's eyes lit up. "Thank you, exalted immortal." Although he did not obtain an immortal technique, he did obtain an ancient cultivation method. That was also very exciting. Chapter 4681. Sure enough, Huilinger, Gu Li, and the others' eyes turned red. Their faces were also full of anticipation. They hurriedly checked their storage rings. Then they found another secret technique. These people decided to cultivate together. They looked at Lin Xian with infinite gratitude. Thank you, exalted immortal. At this moment, they really regarded Lin Xian as an immortal. Lin Xian merely smiled in response and did not seem to mind at all. He directly gave away the two secret techniques because it was easier for him to obtain them. The 4 people from the Purple Mansion sect were all in his hands, and their cultivations had been destroyed. When the time came, he would directly collect their souls. What kind of divine power could he not get? At night, after Lin Xian returned, he entered the Grand Sage Tower. Looking at the 4 figures, the corner of his mouth raised into a smile. The 4 people were terrified. Damn it, what do you want to do? They were already in despair. The elder roared. Kid, kill me if you have the guts. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to die. Your Purple Mansion sect has tried to kill me time and time again. Do you think I'll let you go so easily? Damn it, you're really that guy? The elder roared. What method did you use? Lying to these people? Lin Xian snorted coldly. You're still so curious when you're about to die? Then you can go to hell and ask. But before that, I have a few questions to ask you. The spider lily is the totem of your Purple Mansion sect, right? How many people have you used it to seal? Hearing this, Elder Zhang's pupils constricted. Damn kid. How did you know about this? Could it be that you've been sealed? You're an abandoned immortal. He roared crazily. That's right, you're right. I was indeed sealed before. So even if you don't come looking for me, I won't let you go. One day, I'll personally destroy your Purple Mansion sect. The elder of the Purple Mansion sect was in despair. Damn it, the other party was actually an abandoned immortal. But how did he cultivate to become a sage king? It was too unbelievable. One had to know that after being sealed by the spider lily, it was impossible for him to cultivate. Even if he could cultivate against the heavens, he would at most be a sage king. It was impossible for him to break through to become a sage king. However, the other party had already made a breakthrough to Sage King Intermediate Stage. It was unbelievable. At the same time, he began to worry about Zifu. With such a peerless genius around, once he broke through to become a great sage or even advance further, he would definitely be able to take a huge step forward. If that was the case, then the Purple Palace would really be destroyed. Lin Xian said indifferently, Tell me the origin and secrets of your Zifu. Don't even think about it. The old man gritted his teeth. Lin Xian sneered. Looks like you guys don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, I'll do it myself. Activating his heavenly secret divine eyes, his golden gaze enveloped these people. He first looked at the 2 young men. Perform a soul search. The 2 of them quickly fell to the ground, their souls shattered. Lin Xian frowned. The 2 of them didn't know much. Moreover, in their minds, there were many things that they didn't know. There was a restriction. The core content was undetectable. He then attacked the remaining people. As expected, his expression turned cold. Apart from obtaining some cultivation techniques, he couldn't obtain any other secrets. However, Lin Xian didn't mind. One day, he would personally attack the Zifu Palace. At that time, he would only know everything. He obtained 2 types of martial arts from the old man. Lin Xian didn't cultivate them because he felt that they weren't suitable for him. However, if he had them in the future, he might be able to teach them to others. Next, Lin Xian took out the black jar. He poured his soul power into it. The black jar flew up and circled around him like a fairy. Then he summoned the void beast and patted it. The void beast unleashed a terrifying power of the void as it teleported Lin Xian away. In the next moment, they left the longevity hall and arrived outside. The vast mountains were incomparably dark. Lin Xian's eyes were burning with golden flames. It was as if he was looking at a god, sweeping through everything. A smile appeared on his face as he found it. This time, he wanted to test the true power of the black jar. Roar! That was a hell demonic lion. It was extremely terrifying. Its body was covered in black lightning. Its cultivation had reached the late-stage Sage King realm. With a roar, the mountains collapsed, and the earth cracked. It looked at Lin Xian with mockery in its eyes. "Stupid ant, you think you can challenge me? A saint? Go to hell." The black claws slammed down with tens of thousands of lightning bolts, destroying everything. Lin Xian stood there and didn't make a move. He waved his hand, and the black jar rushed forward. "You're just a broken jar, and you dare to go against me?" The hell demonic lion sneered. Boom. Soon it roared. The black jar is like a sharp sword. It directly pierced through its huge claws, causing them to shatter into pieces. "Damn it! What is that? It's too terrifying." Is it a terrifying sage artifact? No wonder this human kid dares to challenge me. He quickly retreated and shouted coldly, "Hellstorm!" With a roar, endless lightning bolts flew out and turned into a tornado that swept forward. This was a peerless divine ability that was related to his bloodline. So, what if his opponent's weapon was powerful? Black lightning bolts fell between heaven and earth, piercing through everything. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm and slammed it on top of the black jar. The black jar shook and endless black light flew out, turning into a terrifying vortex. It swallowed the sky and the earth, swallowing all the lightning bolts in the sky. How is that possible? The hell demonic lion was terrified. The black jar was too evil. He turned around and fled. Lin Xian sneered. "You want to escape now? It's too late." He activated the black jar again, and the black light enveloped the hell demonic lion. The hell demonic lion felt a terrifying imprisoning force that wanted to swallow him. He roared crazily and knelt on the ground to beg for mercy. "Senior, please spare me. I didn't recognize Mount Tai. Please let me go. I have a treasure. I want to give it to you. Please spare my life." "Treasure?" Lin Xian asked. "What treasure is it?" He was also curious. The hell demonic lion protruded something. It was a box. He said that the treasure was inside. Lin Xian waved his hand, and a sword light split the box open. He found a black stone inside. There was a talisman on it. "What treasure is this?" He frowned. He didn't feel any terrifying aura. The hell demonic lion said that although this stone looked ordinary, it was something from Mount Eternal. It had the Tao of immortality. It was something from Mount Eternal. Lin Xian was surprised. He now had some understanding of it. A great sage would instantly turn into a skeleton. It could be said that it was very terrifying. He sneered. "You're lying. How can you withstand the power of Mount Eternal?" The hell demonic lion shook his head. "It's true." The reason why he didn't emit a terrifying aura now was because of the talisman. That talisman must have been left behind by a peerless Almighty. "I just got it by chance. When I got it, the talisman was on it. I opened it once and almost lost half my life, so I sealed it again. It's so magical." Lin Xian was surprised. He waved his hand and grabbed the black stone. Then he tore off the talisman on it. No, when the hell demonic lion saw this, it retreated in horror. Is this guy crazy? Even if he dies, he shouldn't be like this. Chapter 4682. Soon he was stunned. He found that Lin Xian was there, unharmed. How was this possible? He could actually block the undying Tao. Who the hell was this? The hell demonic lion felt that he had kicked an iron plate. He directly crawled on the ground. He did not dare to resist. Lin Xian used the black jar to swallow this terrifying aura. The corners of his mouth curled up. It was indeed the undying Tao. He stuck the talisman paper on it again. That terrifying aura disappeared. This talisman paper was really magical. It carried an extremely strong sealing power. Lin Xian realized that compared to the stone, the talisman paper was more precious. It was an unexpected gain. He put it away in satisfaction and looked at the hell demonic lion. All right, you can go. Don't let me see you again. Anyway, this time, he was only here to test the power of the black magic jar. Late-stage Saint Kings were no match for it. He had to find a peak-stage Saint King demonic beast. Lin Xian continued to fly in the mountains and finally found another peak-stage Saint King demonic beast. He used the black jar to fight it. That peak-stage Saint King demonic beast was no match for him at all. Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile. Great. It seemed that the power of this black jar. It was still above his imagination. Next, Lin Xian used the void beast again to teleport back. In the following days, he spent the day with these genius disciples of the great sections. At night, he would come out alone in the mountains and cultivate the black jar. He was getting more and more proficient. However, on this day, a crisis came. Between heaven and earth, 4 figures soared into the sky and charged towards him from all directions. The 4 of them were all very terrifying. They were all late-stage Saint Kings. There was even a peak-stage Saint King expert among them. That person held a long spear, and with a thrust of the spear, it was like a giant dragon rushing forward. The terrifying aura made one's scalp tingle. Lin Xian's figure swayed and dodged the attacks of the 3 people. Facing the spear, he activated the black jar. It met the attack head-on. There was a boom. The 2 collided. The black jar emitted a terrifying aura. It blasted away the terrifying energy. That person was terrified. He did not expect this weapon to be so strange. At this moment, Lin Xian's sword attacked. The biting cold sword light swept across the surroundings. Boom, boom. The 3 late-stage Saint Kings tried to dodge, but one of them was cut in half. The other 2 were injured and vomited blood. They were shocked. How could this guy be so strong? Wang, a peak holy king, waved his hand, and a red net fell from the sky, directly enveloping Lin Xian. They all laughed out loud. Lin Xian could sense that this red net was not ordinary. It was a terrifying weapon, a power that could seal him. He snorted coldly, and a dragon-shaped sword light rushed out of his body, slashing in all directions. With a boom, the red net was split into 2 halves. How could this be? The remaining few people were stunned. How did he manage to escape? No matter who you are, today, all of you will die. Lin Xian coldly snorted and attacked. Damn it, stop holding back and attack with all your might. Those people roared furiously. Great desolate heaven-splitting hand, the terrifying great rift charged toward him. This was an absolute art. On the other side, the phantom of a dragon elephant appeared and attacked him again. The last old man came down from the sky with the power of a flood dragon. Lin Xian frowned. It was actually someone from the Purple Mansion. Wang. He summoned the 3-eyed vermilion bird. He attacked the peak holy king. At the same time, the heaven-devouring demonic pot attacked one of them, while he attacked the other. Great desolate sky splitting palm. He also used the same absolute art and clashed with the other party. Both of them used the same absolute art, but Lin Xian was obviously more terrifying. He had the power of the great dragon sword soul. The other party's attack was torn apart. His face was full of shock. How could this be? He had practiced the great desolate sky splitting palm for so many years. How could he not be stronger than Lin Xian? In the next moment, another attack came. The great desolate sky splitting palm tore his body into pieces. His soul wanted to escape, but it was directly ignited by the fire of reincarnation. He let out a painful roar, but in the end, his soul was destroyed. The other person was also like a duck in a black jar. The terrifying whirlpool. It directly swallowed his soul and continuously destroyed it. Lin Xian controlled it, and did not kill the other party's soul. This person knew how to use the dragon elephant finger. He wanted to obtain this absolute art. When the Peak Holy King saw this scene, his expression changed drastically. No wonder their people had died. They actually had such an expert. They had to hurry back and inform the sect that this kid was not dead and had become abnormally terrifying. The three-eyed vermilion bird roared and attacked. At the same time, Lin Xian released the purple qilin. Two peak holy beasts. The elder's face instantly darkened. In the end, his soul was also destroyed. Lin Xian kept these people's storage rings and corpses. He used the hand of creation to refine them into power and then kept them. After entering the Great Sage Tower, Lin Xian began to refine the soul of that person. That person's soul was continuously being crushed by the black millstone, hovering between life and death. He roared crazily, "Kill me! Give me a quick death!" Lin Xian said coldly, "Give me the dragon elephant finger, and I'll give you a quick death." In the end, Lin Xian obtained the cultivation method of the dragon elephant finger. This was also a peerless divine power. After killing that person's soul, Lin Xian stood up with a cold expression. Damn the Purple Mansion. They actually sent people to kill him again. It seemed that the Purple Mansion did not give up. They should know that these people had died. They would appear in front of even more people. When they came, it would not be a Peak Holy King. It would be that simple. Lin Xian felt that he had to leave this place quickly. He went back to prepare and cultivate the dragon elephant finger at the same time. After 10 days, he requested to leave. The Longevity Hall and the other sects were all shocked. Exalted Immortal, are you leaving? Is it because we did not treat you well? They were very anxious. They definitely could not let this immortal opportunity go. Lin Xian shook his head and said, "No, it's not your problem. I'm very interested in this world. I heard that there is a very mysterious Tai Ching ancient city. I'm going to take a look." Then his face darkened, and he asked, "Why? Do you want to imprison me?" No. Those people's expressions changed drastically, and they all shook their heads. How would we dare to control the exalted immortal? That's good. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I've made up my mind. I can take them with me." Really? That's great. Those sects all heaved a sigh of relief. Although the other party was not here, he could take these young people with him. This was also the benefit of not being injured. Soon, they began to move. They sat on a few huge chariots and quickly left. Back then, there were hundreds of geniuses who returned to Lin Xian's side. When Lin Xian left, he did not take so many with him. He only took 50 of them. Among them, Su Lai, Huling and Guli were all there. In addition, those people were also top-notch experts. They were extremely excited. If they followed Lin Xian, they might be able to obtain the immortal opportunity. They could become flying immortals. In the Purple Mansion, these people's faces were cold as they gritted their teeth. They sent 2 experts to Mount Eternal to investigate the situation. In the end, they were all destroyed. Damn it! Who did this to him? Was it the peerless sect over there? Chapter 46, 83. Damn it, did they really not put the Purple Mansion in their eyes? They were preparing to send a 3rd batch of experts. This time, there were 10 times more people than before. They wanted to see who dared to touch their Purple Mansion, but they didn't know that the person they were looking for had already arrived at Tai Ching Ancient City. Tai Ching Ancient City was incomparably mysterious. It had existed since ancient times and had endless secrets. Even the Heavenly Court and Purple Mansion were here. Of course, Lin Xian felt that the ruins of the Heavenly Court were just one of the spaces. There must be such spaces in other places, but he didn't know. That guy from Black Mountain should know. Looking at the huge ancient city in front of him, Lin Xian's eyes flickered. I wonder how that guy from Black Mountain is doing? He entered the ancient bronze coffin. That guy from Black Mountain was holding the sky lantern. He wasn't hunted down by the people from the Purple Mansion, right? Beside him, Su Lai, Huling Gu Li, and the others were also amazed. Is this the ancient city? It's really the same as the legends. Yes, it's my first time here. Lin Xian said. Haven't you been here before? Huling shook her head. This world is too vast. We only move in the area around Mount Eternal. There are many ancient cities there. As for Taiching Ancient City, it was quite a distance away from Mount Eternal, so we usually don't come here. Lin Xian understood. Every sect had their own area, especially these geniuses. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't leave, unless there was a special event or some important occasion. Endless geniuses would gather. Let's go in. Lin Xian waved his hand and led his people into Taiching Ancient City. When he returned again, Lin Xian was filled with emotion. The first time he came, he was filled with curiosity. This time, there was a biting cold light in his eyes. Some people had to be clear. After entering Su Lai, and the others were also amazed. As expected of Primeval City, it was really strong. Not only was it vast, but there were even some places with a mysterious aura. It was even more terrifying than their Longevity Hall. The legendary Purple Mansion should be here. Some people were surprised. Have you heard of immortals? Purple Mansion was related to immortals. Lin Xian sneered. Is that so? But I was assassinated by them. What? Su Lai, Hulinger, and the others were stupefied. When did this happen? How could they not know? Lin Xian said coldly. That was when I went out alone and walked in the mountains. It was someone from the Purple Mansion who came to kill me. In the end, I killed him, acting recklessly. He actually dared to attack an ascendant immortal. So, what if they were Zifu disciples? Kill them. Su Lai shouted coldly. Huling nodded. That's right. They dared to offend an ascendant immortal. Even if he offended us, we'll destroy him together. Lin Xian brought 50 geniuses with him this time, which could be considered a super strong force. However, he was still unable to contend against a true Zifu disciple. After all, it was an ancient sect. However, it was good for dealing with lone wolves. It was indeed enough. Before Lin Xian could say anything, the 50 people had already started discussing among themselves. With Su Lai, Hulinger, and Gu Li as the representatives, they spoke. Don't worry, Ascendant Immortal. We'll plan this matter. Our strength may not be enough to shake an ancient sect, but we won't let them have their way either. We'll go and find out. These people moved quickly. Lin Xian was stunned. Oh my God. It seemed like the identity of an Ascendant Immortal was very important. It was more important than he had imagined. These people were crazy about becoming an immortal. He had to admit that these top geniuses were really resourceful. In 3 days, they found out the answer. There was a descendant of the Purple Mansion called Ruashi. She was going to hold a banquet soon. She invited some geniuses. We can make a move on this descendant. I heard that there are several successors in the Purple Mansion, and there are many potential successors. This time, we'll make an example out of them. We'll let them know the consequences of offending an Ascendant Immortal. Descendant? Huh? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, and a smile appeared on his face. This was also a very important existence in the Purple Mansion. Indeed, they could ruthlessly slap the face of the Purple Mansion. When will they hold the banquet? Su Lai said 5 days later. Hulinger said that we can make a move on the 4th night. We'll catch them off guard. All right, let's do it. Lin Xian and the rest settled down and began to cultivate. They adjusted their strength to the peak. Ruashi, one of the descendants of the 9 great immortal mountains, specialized in the water law. The Purple Mansion nurtured these descendants for 2 reasons. Firstly, it was to strengthen their power. Secondly, it was to let these descendants act alone and recruit a group of geniuses. It would be best if they could get their hands on the cultivation techniques. As a peerless fairy, Ruashi naturally had to make a move. This time, she invited many people, all of whom were from the great sects and the clan of the ancients. Let these people kneel at her feet. When the time comes, these people's cultivation techniques would be easy to obtain. In the manner that was like a paradise on earth, Ruashi asked calmly, "How's the preparation going?" Reporting to Fairy Ruashi, "Everything is ready. We can start tomorrow." "Very good." Ruashi walked out and looked around. There were all kinds of spiritual springs in his manor. They were not in the Purple Mansion. Instead, they found a manor outside and renovated it. This made him very satisfied. There was a waterfall in front of him. Ruashi walked forward and felt it quietly. Then, with a wave of her hand, the law descended. When the people around saw it, their eyes lit up. One of the elders said, "Princess Ruashi, your comprehension of the law is getting deeper and deeper. It seems that he has already surpassed us old men." Ruashi's lips curled into a smile. "She was born for the water. Go back. I want to stay here for a while." Ruashi waved her hand, and the people around her left. She was the only one left in the entire courtyard. She stood in front of the waterfall, her eyes shining, the Tao on her body intertwined. She had to admit that she was very powerful. Now that she was a mid-stage Saint King, she could defeat a late-stage Saint King. Even if she used all her trump cards, she was confident that she could fight a peak Saint King. As a descendant, she was definitely not weak. Moreover, she was ambitious. The 9 great immortal mountains, 9 descendants, she was just one of them. She was considered average. However, she was not satisfied. She wanted to be in the top 3. Moreover, she was also under pressure. That was, the Purple Mansion had many descendants. Once their cultivation and strength were caught up, they would immediately lose their status as a descendant. At every moment, she could not relax. Now, she wanted to enter the peak Saint King stage as soon as possible. The spiritual spring around her kept spinning. Streams of spiritual energy poured into her body. At this moment, Ruashi seemed to have turned into a water god. She was very mysterious. Suddenly, she opened her eyes. Who was it? She felt a threat. The surroundings were very quiet. The sky was dark, and the clouds covered the moon. After the light dimmed, Ruashi suddenly turned around and found a figure standing behind her. That person was tall, but he was very hazy. It was unreal. "Who are you?" Ruashi was really shocked. Someone could actually come behind her, and she did not know about it. Chapter 4684. How could this be? Was it a peak elder? Other than a peak sage king, no one else would be able to do this. However, something was not right. She could not feel the peak elder's strength. Who was it? Ruashi shouted coldly. At this moment, Ruashi sensed a few figures rushing towards her. There were even more figures flashing from afar. They had all come to the courtyard. Who was it? Ruashi roared and retreated. At this moment, the figure in front of her suddenly appeared in front of her. He slapped her with his palm. Not good. The power of space. Ruashi was shocked. No wonder she did not notice him. He knew the power of space. She waved her hand, and a ball of blue water spun rapidly in front of her. The sea was boundless. It enveloped the palm. The terrifying palm passed through the water and hit Ruashi's body. Ruashi was torn into pieces. There was no blood, only endless water that flew in all directions. Water clone. The person in front of her was stunned. Ghoulie frowned. The speed of the clone was fast. No wonder he was the successor of the Z Mansion sect. Do you think you can escape? At this moment, another sneer was heard. A gigantic palm imprint descended from the sky. It was the great longevity palm imprint, cutting through the void. Ruashi was forced out, and her face was pale. Another top-notch expert. At this moment, a ball of flame formed behind her, and a terrifying flame saber came towards her. The sound of water and fire colliding could be heard. Ruashi's path was blocked. Her face turned cold. Who was it? Angry shouts could be heard. All the people in the mansion rushed over. When they saw the mysterious people in front of the courtyard, they were furious. Who are you? Do you know who we are? We are from the Z Mansion sect. Kneel on the ground and wait for your death. An elder shouted coldly, exuding a terrifying murderous aura. Was the Z Mansion sect that powerful? The void in front of them split open again. A figure stood there. Under his feet, the void beast exuded the power of the void. It blocked everyone's probing. Lin Xian stood beside the void beast and waved his hand. Su Lai, Guli, Huling and the rest rushed forward. 50 supreme experts attacked together. Their strength was terrifying. Attack. Ruashi's face turned ghastly pale. Why were there so many experts? They were the remote antiquity families, and the great sects. Did they join forces to attack them? Die. The elders of the Z Mansion sect roared. Those people rushed over, and a great battle broke out in an instant. However, they soon discovered that they were all shocked. Although they outnumbered the other party, the people who came were all top-notch geniuses. He looked young, but his strength was terrifying. Ruashi also wanted to escape, but it was useless. Lin Xian had already set up a matrix here. Everything was blocked, and no one could leave. The battle was completely one-sided. After all, the people of the Z government had never thought that anyone would dare to come. Moreover, it was the day before the martial arts tournament. These people were too audacious. The elders of the Z Mansion sect roared. 3 figures rushed to the sky and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian smirked. He waved his hand, and the black jar floated beside him. It released a terrifying, devouring power and swallowed the attacks of the 3 men. There was even a force that wanted to devour the souls of the 3 men. The 3 men were terrified. They wanted to retreat. Lin Xian opened and closed his hands. The great desolation, scorching heaven hand, tore the 9 heavens apart. The bodies of the 3 men were smashed into pieces. Those who were watching from afar were shocked. Damn it! How could it be? Great desolation, heaven's splitting hand. Who was it? It was the supreme skill of the Z Mansion sect. Ruashi's pupils shrank. Could it be the successor of another immortal mountain? Did they attack her? Or could it be the successor of another immortal mountain? Damn it! She did not expect them to be so despicable. She did not expect it to be Lin Xian. Lin Xian was taken away by the bronze coffin. It was a fact. No one thought that he could come back alive. And now, Lin Xian's body was covered by the power of the void beast. No one could see him clearly. The power of 50 top geniuses attacking together was terrifying. Those from the Z Mansion sect were defeated quickly. They were heavily injured and fell to the ground. Ruashi's face was pale. She stared at Lin Xian. She gritted her teeth and asked, "Who are you?" Lin Xian walked out from the side of the void beast and stepped in the air. His figure gradually became clearer. "It's you. How could you still be alive?" When Ruashi saw Lin Xian, she was shocked. She was dumbfounded. Wasn't this guy buried in the bronze coffin? Wasn't he dead? How could he still be alive? And he had brought so many experts with him. How dare you follow the immortal? How dare you be so rude? A huge palm print appeared and slapped towards her. Ruashi's body swayed as she tried to block it. At this moment, Huling slashed out again. Ruashi's face was pale. Guli stepped in the air and appeared suddenly. He slapped out. Ruashi was finally injured. She couldn't take it anymore after being attacked by 3 top experts. She spat out blood and fell to the ground, but she still couldn't believe it. Immortal? Damn it. What was this guy doing? Where did he get this identity from? Lin Xian's lips curled up as he looked at the other party. Stupid ant, submit to me. You're an immortal. Ruashi couldn't believe it. What a joke. She wanted to resist. Suddenly, a terrifying light burst out from her eyes. As one of the successors, how could she not have a trump card? Her injury was real, but part of it was fake. Her main purpose was to attack the leader. Now that she saw Lin Xian, she was ready to attack. A crystal bottle flew out from her hand, and 3 sparkling and translucent water droplets fell out from within. It was terrifying. 1 drop was enough to destroy everything. Hualing, Su Lai, and the rest felt a sense of fear. Damn it, this guy still has a trump card. Immortal, this is bad, they exclaimed. Lin Xian sneered. Golden light burst out from his eyes. The black bottle floated up and created a black vortex. It swallowed the 3 terrifying water droplets. At the same time, he pointed his finger at the other party's forehead. The other party's forehead split open. Countless cracks appeared on his body. Dragon elephant finger. How did you learn such a secret skill? Ruashi was shocked. She couldn't believe it. The power of the dragon elephant was too much for her to handle. Lin Xian said calmly, I'm an immortal. Of course, I can control everything. After speaking, he waved his hand. The power of the Tai Chi diagram flew out. It shrouded the other party and sealed him completely. He left a dragon-shaped sword chi in the other party's body. Once the dragon-shaped sword chi entered, Ruashi's face turned pale. She felt despair. She felt a power that could destroy all life. The other party had too many trump cards. She couldn't believe it. Is he really a young man? How should we deal with him? Hualing asked. Lin Xian said calmly, I want to suppress this person. Kill the rest. Chapter 46-85. Those from the Z Mansion squinted their eyes. Damn it, aren't you afraid of the Z Mansion's revenge? However, it was Su Lai, Hualing and the others who attacked him. So, what if the Z Mansion was strong? Could it be compared to an exalted immortal? Those people couldn't resist at all, and were all killed instantly. You guys are in charge of cleaning up the battlefield, Lin Xian ordered, and then grabbed Ruashi and disappeared. Inside the Grand Sage Tower, 2 figures appeared. Ruashi was terrified. Damn it, what are you trying to do? I'm the successor of the Z Mansion. If you touch me, the Z Mansion will not let you go. To be honest, he was terrified because he felt that Lin Xian was a devil. His methods were too terrifying. There were so many people from the Z Mansion, and he killed them without mercy. If she fell into his hands, she would be in a terrible state. Kill you? What a pity. Lin Xian shook his head. You have other uses. Ruashi was scared. Damn it, is he trying to kill me? Lin Xian sneered. I'll suppress you first. You'll be useful in the future. He didn't control them because he knew that there were restrictions in their minds, especially these successors. Their restrictions were even more terrifying. If he controlled them, he might alert the Z Mansion. He used the Taiji diagram to seal them and the dragon-shaped sword chi to lock their cultivation. This way, Lin Xian wouldn't be afraid of them escaping. When he came out, the people outside walked over. Hualing took the storage rings and said, Exalted Immortal, these are the storage rings of these people. Lin Xian nodded and took out half of the storage rings and said, You guys can divide these. Thank you, Exalted Immortal. Hualing and the rest were delighted and quickly divided the storage rings. Lin Xian didn't care about this. He still had a use for these people. Hence, It was necessary to rope them in properly. Let's go. Lin Xian waved his hand and left quickly with his people. He was looking forward to the next day when those geniuses arrived. What would it be like? Morning. The sun rose and Taiching Ancient City was bustling. Today was the day of the Z Mansion successor, the martial arts tournament organized by Fairy Ruashi. Many people had received invitations and were preparing to go. Golden Crow how rode on a war chariot and streaked across the sky like a sun god of war. Today, not only was he going to participate in the martial arts tournament, but he was also going to take down his opponent in one fell swoop. These people had already heard about the methods of the Z Mansion from their family elders. That was the Violet Palace realm. The reason why the fairies had approached them was because of the treasures they possessed, and they didn't refuse. That was because they also wanted to use this method to subdue the people of the Purple Mansion, to be able to obtain the inheritance of the Purple Palace Hall. This was a contest, and no one would back down. On the other side, Evil Spirit had arrived as well. He had the same thoughts as well. Other than him, Yun Fei, Sheng Tians, and the others were also here. After all, they had always attached great importance to the Purple Palace. These people arrived at the manor and waited quietly outside. In the distance, more and more people arrived. They were all discussing in the surroundings. Who would have thought that with so many geniuses here, only a few would be able to enter? Some people sighed. However, being able to see so many geniuses was enough to make them excited. Jin Wu how frowned slightly and looked at the time as he spoke. What time is it? Why isn't it open yet? Are they trying to intimidate us? Evil Spirit snorted coldly. Isn't the Purple Palace realm too much? The other geniuses also frowned. Although the Purple Palace realm was mysterious, their status wasn't low either. What was the meaning of turning them away now? Let's wait a little longer. Yun Fei waved his fan and said indifferently. Everyone waited for a while longer. When noon came, their faces darkened. This is too much. Golden Crow how let out a cold snort and strode over. He descended from the sky. He landed inside. People of the Purple Palace realm, don't go too far. But in the next moment he roared. What? How is this possible? What happened? The people outside were shocked. Evil Spirit turned into a few streaks of black lightning and rushed over. Sheng Tians and the others arrived one after another, and the others also entered. When they saw the scene inside, they were all stunned. There was obviously a huge battle in front, and the people of the Purple Palace realm were all dead. Their souls were destroyed, and there were no signs of life. Everyone gasped, and their scalps went numb. The people of the Purple Palace realm were all killed. Who did it? They finally understood that the Purple Palace realm wasn't trying to intimidate them. They couldn't even come out to welcome them. Where's Fairy Ruashi? Is she dead too? Everyone was shocked. That was one of the successors of the Purple Palace realm. They searched the entire mansion one after another. They couldn't find any trace of the person. Could it be that the person's soul was destroyed? Everyone was shocked. This was an earth-shattering event. The Purple Palace realm was reactivated, and it was obviously going to return to its peak. But now, one of its mansions was destroyed. This was obviously a slap to the face of the Purple Palace realm. More importantly, one of the successors of the Purple Palace realm was still missing. The Purple Palace realm would definitely be furious. At that time, there would be a huge storm. Everyone knew that the people of the Purple Palace realm would arrive soon. The others were also discussing among themselves. Who was it? At this moment, a few chariots flew over and stopped in the sky. Countless gazes fell from the sky. One of them said, "What's going on? Was the Purple Palace realm destroyed? I still want to participate." Another person said, "It seemed that the Purple Palace realm wasn't that great. It was destroyed so easily. What a piece of trash. The people in the chariots were chatting and laughing. The people below were all stunned. God, who is this? Why is he mocking the Purple Palace realm? Does he want to die? Who are you? How dare you be so presumptuous? Jin Wu Hao looked up at the sky and shouted coldly. A sneer came from the sky. A mere demonic beast dares to be arrogant in front of us? You're courting death. Jin Wu Hao was furious. He was indeed a demonic beast, but he was a golden crow. His bloodline was terrifying. He was a divine beast. How dare the other party look down on him? You're courting death. Jin Wu Hao reached out a big golden hand and grabbed the chariot above. I want to see who's so reckless. An earth-shattering sound came, and the void beside the chariot kept shattering. It couldn't bear it at all. Jin Wu Hao had successfully broken through to the middle stage of the Saint King realm, compared to before. His strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. Thus, this palm strike was truly terrifying. Humph! A cold snort came from the chariot. What's there to be arrogant about? Then, a big flaming palm came down with a biting cold aura. It collided with the golden palm. The fire of the sun and the terrifying flames kept colliding, tearing the sky apart. Then it blocked the big golden palm. Countless people were shocked. Did it block it? Even Jin Wu Hao was surprised that the other party could block his attack. It really surprised him. His face darkened. Go to hell. Another palm came, and this time it was more powerful than before. Chapter 4686. Boom. Inside the war chariot, Huling was enraged. What did a mere golden crow have to be so arrogant? She shouted coldly. Fire God's finger. With a finger. It was as if the fire god had descended, bringing with it a monstrous power. The two clashed, and were evenly matched once again. A sneer came from above. He looked arrogant, but his strength was only SOSO. You don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Damn it. Golden Crow Hao gritted his teeth. The other party was really strong. The others were also shocked. Evil Spirit walked out and asked with a frown, Who are you guys? Who are you? If you want to know who we are, tell us where you came from. Evil Spirit said proudly, Serene Cloud Sect, Evil Spirit, Golden Crow Clan, Golden Crow Hao, Sacred Heavens Clan, Sheng Tian Su, Myriad Transformation Sect, Yun Fei. Four figures walked out one after another, their loud voices resounding through the heavens. Countless people looked up at them. They were the most powerful experts and geniuses. The people in the sky snorted coldly. Then, a figure walked out. It was a man wearing the longevity battle armor, looking mighty and extraordinary. He walked out and said proudly, Longevity Sect Su Lai. Beside him, another figure walked out. He looked like a peerless fire god. Fire God Palace, Huling, Some people were puzzled. Longevity Sect and Fire God Palace? They had never heard of them. However, some experts and people of the older generation cried out in alarm. They were not from Taiching Ancient City, but the Eternal Mountain region. They were also a peerless sect, not weaker than the Serene Cloud Sect. Everyone sucked in a cold breath when they heard that. In other words, these people were not weaker than Evil Spirit and Yun Fei. No wonder they dared to be so arrogant. This was not the end. After these two people, another person appeared. Furthermore, he appeared out of thin air. What a terrifying void energy. Everyone was shocked. Could it be? That person looked down and said proudly, Gu Clan, Gu Li. The crowd was in an uproar. This time, Golden Crow Hao, Evil Spirit, and the others could not remain calm. The Gu clan, this was a clan of the ancients. More importantly, the Gu clan was an emperor clan. They had a great emperor and possessed a supreme weapon. Their strength was comparable to the Yi clan, Was the Gu clan's genius here? They could feel the pressure. The surrounding people were even more stunned. Too valiant. This lineup seemed to surpass Jin Wu Hao and the others. Now, do you still have the qualifications to be arrogant in front of us? Gu Li asked coldly. Below, Jin Wu Hao and the others gritted their teeth. His expression was ice cold. The people from the Gu family were indeed strong enough. However, if they were to really fight, the three of you can't beat the four of us. They had the advantage of numbers. Everyone was a top-notch prodigy. A single advantage in numbers was enough to change the entire battlefield. The atmosphere between the two sides continued to clash, causing cracks to appear in the void. This was especially true for Taiching Ancient City, where geniuses were constantly coming over. Some of them didn't plan to participate in the martial arts tournament, but because the Purple Mansion Manor was destroyed, they were unable to participate in the tournament. Such a big event also aroused their curiosity and shock. They all rushed over. For example, the Light Folk, the Wind Folk, and even Leaf Dowdenier were all present. They looked at the three experts in the sky in surprise. Did another peerless sect come? There were even desolate ancient emperor clans that came. It was just too inconceivable. These people guessed that the destruction of the Purple Mansion had something to do with these mysterious experts. Did it matter? We now suspect that the Z Mansion's matter is related to you. Jin Wu Hao asked. He still wanted to conquer Ruashi, but now that she had fallen, his wish was in vain. He could only look for another target, which made him very unhappy. In the sky, Su Lai snorted coldly and frowned. Are you doubting us? The evil spirit said. So, what if I'm questioning you? There were many geniuses on their side, and they all represented Taiching Ancient City. Those people were from Mount Eternal, and the two sides belonged to two different regions. They even wanted to compete with each other. The people in the ancient city were also discussing. Although the three of them were powerful, they couldn't be arrogant in Taiching Ancient City. Gu Li sneered. Why? Are you bullying us because we have fewer people? He waved his hand and said coldly, Come out. Everyone was surprised. Is there anyone else? Soon, they were dumbfounded. More people came out from the chariots in the sky. There were 50 figures standing between heaven and earth, and each of them was a top-notch expert. So many experts. It was really too shocking. Why are so many of you here? What's the matter? Sheng Tiansu also frowned. Taiching Ancient City was mysterious. So why couldn't we come to check it out? Huling snorted. We came here with some exalted immortal to travel. Do you have a problem with that? Exalted immortal? The people below all frowned. Was there anyone else on the other side? The evil spirit snorted. Who dares to call themselves an exalted immortal? Are you looking for death? I think you're the one who's looking for death. Gu Li snorted and pointed his finger in the air, charging towards the evil spirit. The evil spirit slashed out with his sword. An earth-shattering energy burst out, sweeping across the 9 heavens. Everyone was nervous. They wouldn't start a war just because of a disagreement, right? It seemed very likely. There might even be an unparalleled war. All right, stop it for now. Lin Xian's voice came from the chariot. Gu Li, Su Lai, and the rest stopped and said respectfully, Yes, exalted immortal. Countless people were shocked. What kind of person was sitting in the chariot? How could he make so many geniuses so respectful? Could he be a great sage? Below, Jin Wu Hao and the rest also took a deep breath. If it was a great sage, they couldn't fight against him. But he couldn't bully them. Each of their families had a great sage, and there was more than one. At this moment, a voice came from the chariot again. The exalted immortal they are talking about is me. Do you have a problem with that? As the voice fell, a figure walked out. Countless people looked up. Are there really immortals in this world? When they saw the figure, their pupils shrank, and they were dumbfounded. Damn kid, It's you, Jin Woo Hao, and the rest were even more dumbfounded. They couldn't believe it. They realized that they knew the person in front of them. It was Lin Xian. How could it be? He's not dead yet? Some people exclaimed. Sheng Tianso frowned. Yun Fei and the rest were shocked. They couldn't believe it. Didn't this guy die in the heavenly court? Wasn't he buried in the bronze coffin? How did he come out? How dare you talk to an exalted immortal like this? Huiling snorted. Su Lai also stood out and said, Why didn't you kneel and kowtow to the exalted immortal? Kneel to him? Why? Are you idiots? Who told you that he's an exalted immortal? He's just an ordinary ant. Jimu Hao sneered. Yuxia also snorted. Kid, I didn't expect you to still be alive and dare to pretend to be an exalted immortal. You really don't know what's good for you. You're the ones who don't know what's good for you. Lin Xian sneered. Whoever goes down and brings me their heads, I'll teach them immortal techniques. As soon as he said that, the eyes of the 50 top geniuses lit up. Let's go. Su Lai and Huiling stood out first. How could they miss such a good opportunity? Chapter 4687. A huge battle was about to break out. However, at this moment, a few rays of light streaked over from afar, accompanied by a cold roar. Who is it? How dare you attack the Purple Mansion? Everyone was shocked. The experts of the Purple Mansion had arrived. In the next moment, the sky was torn open, and the experts of the Purple Mansion had arrived. When they saw that the people of the mansion had been killed, they roared in anger. The void of the 9 heavens kept shattering. Who is it? They had gone crazy. The Purple Mansion had been reborn, and this time it was their descendant. The martial arts competition was held. But now, they were all dead. They didn't even know if their descendant was dead or alive. This was a slap to their faces. The people of the Purple Mansion suspected that it was the remote antiquity families who had joined forces. They were acting in the dark. Otherwise, no one else would have such strength. I suspect that it's that kid. Jin Woo Hao walked out and pointed at the sky. The people of the Purple Mansion looked up. Is there anyone suspicious? When they saw the figure in the sky, they were also stunned. It's you? He's not dead. They were shocked. Why is Lin Xian here? Evil Spirit sneered. Not only that, he had brought 50 top geniuses with him. That was an extremely terrifying force, enough to destroy everything. Maybe the Purple Mansion had been destroyed by them. After the people of the Purple Mansion heard this, their faces turned ugly. Indeed, there were countless fighters around Lin Xian. If all of them were to attack together, they could really destroy the mansion. A middle-aged man stood out and shouted coldly, Kid, is that you? Lin Xian looked calm and didn't reply. Su Lai shouted coldly, How dare you question the exalted immortals? Do you want to die? The people of the Purple Mansion went crazy. Exalted immortals? Damn it. Only the Purple Mansion had immortals. Since when did this kid have such an identity? Another genius of the Purple Mansion said, Old Zhang, they are very suspicious. I suggest that we take them all back and search their souls. Yes, that's right. The people of the Purple Mansion nodded. Jin Woo Hao smiled. If you need help, I'm happy to help. Men, capture that kid. The elders of the Purple Mansion waved their hands, and the people around them rushed forward. Their auras exploded. How dare you? Su Lai, Huilinger, and the others also arrived in the air. The two sides faced each other, and the atmosphere became more and more tense. At this time, Jin Woo Hao jumped out and said, Kid, do you only dare to hide behind others? Do you dare to come out and fight? Right now, I can suppress you with one hand. Now that Jin Woo Hao had made a breakthrough in his cultivation, his strength was much stronger than before. An earth-shattering change had taken place. Therefore, he had enough confidence. Lin Xian looked down and said indifferently, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." He took large strides in the air and walked down. Was the final battle about to begin? Everyone was shocked. This Lin Xian was also a top genius. This battle would be very interesting to watch. Some people were excited. There were also people who sneered. "Are you stupid?" That was in the past. Jin Wuhao had already reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm. His strength was terrifying. "I estimate that one move will be enough to end this battle." "That's right. That kid is dead for sure." How could he be a match for the geniuses of our Golden Crow clan? The people from the Golden Crow clan also snorted coldly. On the other side, Su Lai, Huiling and the others didn't care at all. How could these mortals understand the strength of an exalted immortal? Exalted immortal? Kill him. Yes, exalted immortal. Kill him in an instant. Let's see who will kill who in an instant. Jin Wuhao walked out. A terrifying light bloomed from his body. He looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile, "I'll give you a chance to make the first move." He didn't sense any terrifying aura from Lin Xian. "Let me make the first move?" "Fine, I'll fulfill your wish." Lin Xian nodded. He had also broken through and reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm. His strength had become stronger than before. The other party was simply courting death by asking him to make the first move. "Are you ready?" Lin Xian asked indifferently. Jin Wuhao snorted coldly. "I don't need to prepare to deal with you. You can't even break through my defense." The surrounding people sneered. They indeed thought so. No one could sense Lin Xian's aura. Lin Xian indeed didn't have any aura on him, but the moment he made the first move, it suddenly exploded. A golden palm slammed forward. Heaven and earth collapsed. With a boom, Jin Wuhao was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on his body. Half of his body turned into a bloody mist. Shocking. Everyone went crazy. They couldn't believe it. Impossible. The people of Jinwu roared crazily. There was a difference of one realm between them. How could the other party break through their defense? He was so weak that it was pitiful. It was just a demon beast. What right did it have to be arrogant in front of an exalted immortal? Su Lai, Huilinger, and the others sneered when they saw this scene. They had unlimited confidence in Lin Xian. Shengshen Xie and the others narrowed their eyes. This kid's strength had increased too. It seemed that he had also broken through. Damn it, he had hidden his strength so well. They thought that they were the only ones who had broken through. They didn't expect that the other party had also broken through. Damn it, what kind of fortune did he obtain after being locked in the ancient bronze coffin? Roar. In the distance, a figure roared in the ruins. The bloody mist in the sky gathered again. Jin Wuhao charged over with a ferocious expression. "Damn kid, how dare you hurt me? I'm going to kill you." Lin Xian said indifferently, "You're no match for me." Jin Wuhao was furious. No one had ever dared to underestimate him, especially after his strength had broken through. "I didn't expect you to break through too. I was careless before. I won't give you another chance now. I'm going to kill you with my own hands." Endless Tao began to gather on Jin Wuhao's body, forming a huge saber. The divine sun saber. It was extremely terrifying. The entire void kept shattering. On the other side, Lin Xian's face darkened. He opened and closed his hands. Terrifying cracks were forming in the sky. It was the great desolate sky splitting palm. Everyone exclaimed. Both of them were using peerless superpowers. It seemed that they were going to go all out. When the surrounding people saw this, they retreated. "Go to hell. Look at my divine sun saber." Jin Wuhao's saber fell and locked onto Lin Xian. The saber was like a giant sun dragon descending. Wherever it passed, the void would shatter. There was nothing that could withstand it. It couldn't even recover. Facing the terrifying divine sun saber, Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light, the great desolate sky splitting palm. He waved his hands, and a terrifying force surged forward. It was the Purple Mansion Realm's secret technique. Countless people exclaimed. The people from the Purple Mansion Realm snorted. They had just obtained it and couldn't display its true power. However, when they felt the aura, their faces changed. How could it be? They realized that the great desolate sky splitting palm that Lin Xian had used was extremely terrifying. It was even more terrifying than the older generation experts. Chapter 4688. Boom, boom. The void kept shattering like a painting. Cracks appeared on the surface of the solar divine blade, and it suddenly split open. The crack spread towards Jin Wu Hao. Jin Wu Hao retreated. His body was pierced through. He was covered in blood. He couldn't believe it. He lost again in the battle of peerless skills, unable to withstand a single blow. This was Lin Xian's evaluation of him. The surrounding people were stunned. Did Jin Wu Hao lose? 2 moves, and he was defeated so thoroughly. It was unbelievable. Sheng Tianzi, Guang Ming, and the others frowned. To be honest, even if they wanted to fight Jin Wu Hao, they wouldn't be able to defeat him so easily. After all, Jin Wu Hao was a top genius. But now, he was defeated by Lin Xian. What kind of heaven-defying opportunity did this guy get? The expressions of the people from the Z government were incomparably grave. An elder of Zifu was stunned. He waved his hand, and a black lotus bloomed on his fingertip. That black lotus quickly rushed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's face changed. He shouted, and a dragon-shaped sword chi flew out and destroyed the lotus. He stared at Zifu and said coldly, "Do you want to die?" The black lotus broke and turned into a petal that scattered between heaven and earth. The elder of Zifu narrowed his eyes. "You are the one who was sealed. Could it be that you are the one who was abandoned by immortals? The one who was abandoned by immortals?" What did that mean? Countless people were at a loss. Soon, they understood that these people were abandoned by the heavens. They had no future. Nonsense. We are immortals. We are immortals. Hualing Air and Su Lai snorted. You people of Zifu dare to slander immortals. Do you want to die? 50 top geniuses. They emitted a cold aura. The middle-aged man kept shaking his head. This was impossible. If he was really abandoned by immortals, he wouldn't be able to reach the Saint King realm. He was taken by the bronze coffin. Could it be that he was from the immortal graveyard? So you are from the immortal graveyard. You deserve to die more than those who were abandoned by immortals. The heavens will bury you personally. You will not survive. The people of Zifu sneered. The others were also in an uproar. There were a few older generation experts who said, "Someone from the immortal burial ground?" This was the stuff of legends. There would never be a future. Some people looked at Lin Xian, shook their heads, and sighed. This brat's current strength was so strong that he could defeat Jin Wu Hao in 2 moves. His future was limitless. He might even be a young Grand Emperor, but he ended up in the tomb. It would be as difficult as ascending the heavens for him to take another step forward in the future. What people from the immortal tomb? Hualing, and the others sneered in disbelief. However, at this moment, a black lotus appeared in his purple palace. A terrifying power swept towards Lin Xian. Today, the people of the immortal graveyard will completely destroy you. You're interested? Hualinga roared. Su Lai Guguli and the others also roared. Even Leaf Dowdenier stood up. Zifu, don't go too far. This is a battle between the younger generation. Are you going to use all of your strength? Then I don't mind telling my family to use extreme weapons. If you offend a heavenly immortal, the Gu clan will also use a few weapons. Gully roared crazily. Countless people were shocked. They didn't expect the two monarch clans to stand on Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian looked up at the sky. His nerves were incomparably solemn. Was the red spider lily going to seal him again? He felt that the red spider lily's power was too terrifying this time. It was most likely the totem of his purple palace. In the distance, on a fiery red cloud, the red phoenix looked at this scene and said, "Master, quickly save him." Great Sage Pilfire looked at this scene and sighed. Is he really from the immortal tomb? In ancient history, there were two records of people from the immortal tomb. Their talent was terrifying, but in the end, they couldn't advance. In fact, their fates were very tragic. Lin Xian had shown heaven-defying talent, but his luck was too bad. He sighed and wanted to help. Since it was his disciple's request, he should save the young man. At this moment, Lin Xian shouted coldly, "What heavenly Tao? Do you represent the heavens?" He roared, and the dragonflight sword soul split the heavens and earth. At this moment, the 9 heavens and 10 earths shook. The red spider lily in the sky kept falling, trying to seal him completely. Yi Wudao roared, "Do you really want me to use an extreme weapon?" Gu Li also shouted coldly, "Are you challenging the Gu family?" Under the threat of the two ancient monarch families, the red spider lily in his purple palace finally disappeared. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. However, at this moment, red lightning filled the sky. Is he going to transcend the tribulation? No, it's not a tribulation. It's a tribulation that's even more powerful than a tribulation. Ha ha! Golden Crow, Hal looked up to the sky and laughed. Although he had lost, he was incomparably happy at this moment. Once the tribulation comes, no one can save you. This is the punishment of the heavens. Everyone's scalps went numb. The tribulation represented the heavens and earth. Is this kid really from the immortal tomb? This time, even Su Lai, Huling and the other geniuses were stunned. They had always thought that Lin Xian was an exalted immortal, but their hearts were shaken at this moment. They had all heard of the legend of the tribulation. It represented the power of the heavens and earth, and was unquestionable. Boom! The red lightning struck down, directly piercing through the heavens and earth. Run! Everyone fled. The tribulation had the power of destruction, and no one could do anything. In the distance, Red Phoenix's eyes were red. "Master, help!" However, Great Sage Pilfire sighed. If the tribulation hadn't appeared, it would have been fine. Now that the tribulation has appeared, I'm afraid that inaction will also attract my tribulation. Everything in front of him was instantly drowned, turning into red cracks with a destructive aura. The people of the Purple Palace sneered. They could represent the heavenly Tao. Golden Crow Hao was ecstatic. "Kid, so what if you're strong? You're still going to die." Evil Spirit and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. It was great that a peerless enemy had fallen, just like that. However, Yi Wudao and the others frowned. Su Lai, Huling and the others were extremely nervous. Had they really been tricked? There was also a black-robed man in the crowd, his eyes flickering. Black Mountain looked at this scene and sighed. It seemed that it was time for him to make a move. His palms were already forming a seal. At this moment, a cold light flashed in his eyes. This was interesting. He released his hands from the seal again. Black Mountain did not attack. Lin Xian once again felt the threat of destruction. The tribulation's power was unparalleled. Even if he used the Grand Sage Tower, he could not avoid it. However, this was not the first time he faced the tribulation, so he had a way to deal with it. His body swayed, and the mysterious small sword appeared in his body. Lin Xian entered the Sword Dao world. With his current strength, entering the Sword Dao world was a piece of cake. He could even walk a distance of 500 meters. This Sword Dao world was extremely mysterious, and he could completely avoid the tribulation. After Lin Xian entered, he could no longer feel the threat of destruction. He waited for the destructive power to dissipate before going out. Chapter 4689. The divine punishment gradually disappeared, and the crowd gathered again. They looked forward and sneered. That kid is dead, right? His body and soul must have been destroyed. That's the result of opposing the Purple Mansion. The people of the Purple Mansion snorted coldly. Golden Crow How laughed smugly. So what if he was strong? He was still dead. Su Lai and the others were shocked. Had they been fooled? Was that guy really not an immortal? Was he just an ordinary person? They couldn't accept it. At that moment, a faint voice sounded. What are you so happy about? Everyone stopped laughing, as if the god of death had grabbed their necks. They suddenly turned around. In the distance, a figure walked over. How was that possible? Golden Crow How's hair stood on end. The expressions of the people of the Purple Mansion also changed drastically. The others were even more shocked. Lin Xian was still alive. He wasn't dead. Yi Wudao and Red Phoenix heaved a sigh of relief. Great Sage Pillfire was even more shocked. How was that possible? Could anyone withstand the power of divine punishment? As a great sage, he didn't dare to imagine it. The eyes of Huolinger, Su Lai Gully, and the others shone brightly. That was an immortal. Only immortals could be fearless of divine punishment. It seemed that what they had done before was right. The other party was really an immortal. Impossible. How could he still be alive? Golden Crow How roared crazily. The people of the Purple Mansion were also stunned. They had never seen such a situation before. Huolinga walked out and sneered. What do you know? Supreme immortals are from the immortal world. How could they be punished by divine punishment? Su Lai also sneered. So, what if he's from heaven's burial? They cheered and gathered around Lin Xian again. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Show me what else you have. If not, I'm going to make a move. His eyes were filled with killing intent. It wasn't the first time these people had tried to kill him. Today, someone had to die. He stared at the people of the Purple Mansion, then at Golden Crow How. Golden Crow How's scalp went numb. He crushed a token in his hand. He was really frightened now. He had to summon the experts of his family. The people of the Purple Mansion were also secretly mobilizing experts. At the same time, he gritted his teeth and said, No matter what, it doesn't change the fact that you are from the celestial tomb. This time, I don't know what method you used to avoid it, but in the future, you are destined to be buried between heaven and earth. Lin Xian coldly snorted. The great desolate heaven-rending palm attacked the people from the Z government sect. The Z Mansion's people roared as they fought back. As a result, they were forced to retreat. The other party was too strong. Lin Xian turned around and looked at Jin Wuhao. You were happy when you thought I was dead? He pointed his finger out. The phantoms of dragons and elephants roared between heaven and earth. Their terrifying power crushed the heavens. Golden Crow How retreated in terror. The others were shocked as well, especially the people from the Z Mansion. They were all stupefied. How could the other party use such a method? Could it be that he was their successor? Was he really killed by the other party? Damn it, the sun shines in the sky. Jin Wuhao felt an immense threat. He knew that he was no match for him. Therefore, he did not dare to be careless. The Golden Crow bloodline in his body burned rapidly, turning into a peerless sun. It shone in the 9 heavens. At this moment, heaven and earth seemed to have melted. Everyone felt as if they were boiling. The phantoms of dragons and elephants were also ignited, burning continuously. They gradually grew bigger, but they did not disappear. The remaining forces quickly charged over. With a boom, the sun in the sky cracked. Jin Wuhao vomited blood. and was sent flying. Once again, he was severely injured and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He could not even block a single attack from the other party. Hualinger saw this scene and sneered. You said that the exalted immortal was from the immortal graveyard. If he had no future, then what were you guys? An ant among ants. Everyone's face turned ugly. After knowing that the other party was from the immortal graveyard, they were happy. They thought that they had lost a peerless enemy. But now, it seemed that the gap between them and the other party was too big. So what if the other party had no future? No one was a match for this guy now. Lin Xian looked at the evil spirit again and sneered. Why? Do you think that in front of me? Do you have the right to be arrogant? Then he pointed the dragon elephant finger at the evil spirit again. The evil spirit roared and attacked with a sword, but it was useless. His heart was pierced by the finger. His body cracked again. Damn it, he roared crazily. Lin Xian looked at Sheng Tiansu. Sheng Tiansu fought against the evil spirit, but one of his arms was torn to pieces. He frantically retreated. Lin Xian looked up and laughed. What right do you have to say that I have no future? I have fought all the way and seen all kinds of strong people. A mere Violet Palace realm and a mere resurrection lily want to bury me? That was impossible. Lin Xian roared and attacked fiercely. The great desolate sky splitting hand and dragon elephant finger attacked the people from the Purple Mansion sect. The young man from the Purple Mansion sect could not resist at all, and his body was instantly shattered. Those elders who were fighting against it were also shaken to the point that their blood and qi were roiling. Too strong. Lin Xian was like a peerless god of war at this moment. No one could stop him. Let's kill him together. We must kill him. The eyes of the people from the Purple Mansion sect turned red. The people from the Golden Crow clan and Serene Cloud sect roared. Such a person would be a great enemy if they kept him alive. They would not allow him to exist. Boom, boom, boom. Countless golden figures descended from the sky like golden gods of war. They suppressed a part of the world. Golden Crow How was overjoyed when he saw this scene. Great, the elders of the Golden Crow clan had come. On the other side, the experts from the Serene Cloud sect had also arrived. Their auras were extremely powerful, and they sealed the area. After they arrived, they shouted coldly, "Kid, die." A late-stage Saint King Elder walked over and slapped Lin Xian with his palm. Lin Xian roared and attacked with Dragon Elephant Finger. With a crack, the late Saint King Elder's arm was shattered, and he flew back while vomiting blood. His face was filled with fear. The others were also stunned. This kid was too strong. A late Saint King Elder was not his opponent at all. This person could not be left alive. A peak Saint King Elder walked out. Not only the Golden Crow clan, but also the Purple Mansion sect and Serene Cloud sect. There were experts in other places as well. Obviously, they were all watching the battle. This time, this kid should be dead for sure, right? Boom. The peak Saint King Elder of the Serene Cloud sect casually attacked. Endless tyrannical power turned into a blade light that descended from the sky. It carried a cold and gloomy aura that could destroy everything. Facing such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Great desolate heaven-splitting palm. Everyone was shocked. No way. This guy wanted to fight against a peak Saint King Elder? The young genius's pupils shrank. The opponent was too arrogant. The peak Saint King Elder snorted and increased his power. A sound that shook the sky rang out. Lin Xian took 2 steps back. On the other side, the peak Saint King Elder's arm was numb. He could not believe it. His attack was actually blocked by the opponent. Lin Xian laughed. A peak Saint King Elder was only SO. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.